The Detroit Pistons have went from poverty to the suburbs.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Ron. They might be in a townhouse. They might be in a townhouse down. They might be in a townhouse downtown. They ain't in the suburbs yet, but they might be in a townhouse downtown.
Well, they moving on up. We know that. They are on an 8-game winning streak. They are currently the hottest team in the NBA. And over that 8-game winning streak, Swiper, they boast the #1 defense in the NBA. Fellas, talk to me about how we feel about the Pistons going 8-2 in their last 10 games.
I think JB Bickerstaff is the coach of the year. They got 7 guys on this crew from last year. This is the same crew that lost 28 straight games. In addition to them losing 28 straight games, they added Tobias Harris, who, for all intents and purposes, you guys thought he was a wash from Philadelphia. He was one of the main reasons why that they lost. He didn't perform the way that you thought he should have performed. They added Tim Hardaway, who I was over him in Dallas. They added Malik Beasley, who when he was in Milwaukee, he was good, but with the Lakers, he was up and down. And they added Paul Reed. That's who they added to their rotation, in addition to the 7 guys that they already had in Cade, Asor, Cade Cunningham, Asor, Jalen Duren, and they actually lost Ivy. What Coach Bickerstaff has been doing with this crew, just defensively, I mean, I don't think that they do anything great, but except rebound. But I do think that they do a bunch of things really good. I think that they disrupt on the perimeter. I think they're in the top 10 in the league defensively in steals, so they disrupt on the perimeter. So with that being said, I think JB Bickerstaff has he's changed the culture in Detroit. Jayson Tatum had 5 turnovers. I actually watched that Detroit game yesterday. Jayson Tatum had 5 turnovers in the first half, and that was largely due to Asor. I think it was almost like he knew where Jayson Tatum was going to be. He knew what he was going to do. He was sitting on every move that Jayson Tatum made. He caused a lot of turnovers with Jayson Tatum, and I loved it. I love Detroit's defense, and I love what they're doing. Their game out of the 4 spot. I think JB Bickerstaff is the coach of the year. He's done a great job with this Detroit team.
Mars, Swiper, or the chill encapsulate everything?
Well, he did a good job of talking about the guys not named Cade, which I think is good. Because I assume when you talk about the Pistons, it's probably going to be a lot about Cade because he's obviously having a great season. But yeah, I think the Pistons are a good team. I think they wouldn't have been as bad as they were last year, but that was outstanding circumstances. But I think, yeah, this year them being good is good. I think, like I said, Cade is really good. Jalen Duren is really nice offensively in terms of what he provides. Defensively, I don't think he's the worst big in the league anymore, so that's progress. And then you got guys like Isaiah Stewart, who I think is one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. He's amazing. I know, like, the dirty plays or whatever you want to call them probably give him a bad rap, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but just as a basketball player, what he does on the court as a rim protector, I do think he's really, really good. Asar Thompson, I think, is one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. I think he would have made the all-defensive team this year if he hit the game limit, but obviously he came into the season late because of the blood clot issue. I think Malik Beasley is having one of the more underrated seasons in the NBA. Him as a shooter has been tremendously valuable for the Pistons. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been up and down, but in a team like the Pistons, the ups are really valuable. And then obviously, I mean, you got Cade, who I think Cade was really good last year, especially like the second half of the season, but the Pistons suck. So no one was like, oh, Cade. So now he's finally getting the recognition he deserves as one of the best young guards in the NBA, which is great to see.
Mars, didn't he have I think he had last game, he had a 7-game stretch where he was like 34, like 9 and like 8, something like that. But they were losing, and so nobody cared. Nobody.
Yeah, no one was paying attention to it. It's like how no one's paying attention to what Zion's doing on the Pelicans because they keep losing. Cade was really good like the second half of last season, especially offensively. But I guess now that they're winning, he can get his flowers. Especially, he's improved a lot defensively. He's got back to a good level defensively. Last year, I think he was a bad defender. Some of that was just, I don't think he was interested in defense, which is never acceptable, but I do think it can explain certain things. But I do think he's back to being a positive on that side of the ball. And then offensively, he's amazing. great passer, great decision maker. And even against the team like the Celtics, who didn't give him many passing angles because of the way they defend, he's still able to get to the mid-range. He's able to score when needed. And that added post game is extremely valuable. But yeah, the Pistons are good. That's really it. I don't know. I'm assuming Ron's going to be like, where can they go in the playoffs? Who can they be? I don't know the answers to those questions. But them being able to make the playoffs this year is going to be extremely valuable for their young guys, see where they stack up against some of the best teams in the East. And I'm interested to see it.
Mars, this panel, really quickly, of this panel of 6 guys, by show of hands, how many of you guys had the Pistons making the playoffs this year?
I don't remember. We have to go back. I don't want to lie. I can't remember.
I can't say I did.
I think I would have said. I know I didn't. I did not have to make the playoffs.
I think I would have said playing. If I said anything, I would have said playing.
No, I didn't. I thought they would improve, but me saying that they would make a play-in or the playoffs, I wouldn't. Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna pretend like I said.
Now, real fast. Just
yo, John D. I just want to throw this out there. Preseason power rankings. At 30th, we had the Wizards.
Nice.
29, we had the Nets. 28, we had the Blazers.
That was swung by one person, by the way, that 29 pick.
Which we missed on the Blazers. We had them at 28. And at 27th, we had the Detroit Pistons.
They were at the bottom of
that
the
makes sense though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that was a collective list though.
Yeah, at the time it didn't sound bad. I don't remember what I thought on that. I know I had
Mars, you were the highest
in the Nets. Thank you.
You were the highest on the Pistons, but you had them at 25.
Do you have the name? Where did I have them?
Yeah. Swiper, you had him at 28.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
that was the consensus, though. I mean, there were some people.
Ox, you had him last.
That's what I was gonna say. I'll probably
because you had the Wizards in the play-in. Yeah, you had the Wizards.
Yeah, we were arguing about the Wizards.
But I still don't think I was really. I don't think I had the Wizards too high, but I know I had Detroit last. Like I know you make compelling arguments for Detroit last year not being the worst team in the league. But to me and Chill's point, you lose 30 games straight, bro. I'm putting you. I gotta put you the worst team in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel what you were saying. My thing about them this year, I didn't see them making no improvement this year. Like I didn't think they were gonna lose as many games as last year, but I definitely didn't think they were gonna be a good team. You know what I mean? Because for a main reason was I'm like, y'all added Tobias Harris.
That was your biggest issue with them. That was your biggest issue with them from the door.
Right, but check out Tobias and Tim all the way though. Like I'm happy for both of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No matter what, you know what I'm saying? No matter what I say, I'm not praying for their downfall. I just thought Tobias was weak as hell. You know what I'm saying? But
we were arguing. I think we argued about that too.
Yeah, because he was weak. Because he was weak as hell. That's why.
No, he wasn't. He was good, bro. He just got.
Okay.
The top of the top.
I'm not about to do revisionist history.
No, I mean he's a good player. He's a good player.
If that's how you feel, Swipe, I can't. I'm not. I don't want to convince you otherwise, and I can't convince you otherwise. I am happy to see. Right. I am happy to see Tobias Harris. Being a positive over there, you know, adding something to that team. For lack of better terms, I'm happy to see him and Tim Hardaway reviving their careers. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, they're not in the running for any All NBA teams or anything like that, but they're definitely being good vets for that team. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just assuming that they're good. They're doing their thing in the locker room because you can see a different level of maturity in this team. I think from what I see, and I mean, Coach Bickerstaff definitely is got his name in the hat, top 3 as far as or Coach of the Year. Shout out to Detroit, but I don't got nothing negative to say about them dudes, man. They're doing their thing there up there.
Now, Swipe it.
John D, right quick, Chill. John D, I know you have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask everyone, you know, we've seen Cade create out of the post. Is that something you would want to see him go to a little bit more in a playoff setting, especially like with the mismatches that he could usually get on the perimeter with a lot smaller and like weaker guards, especially like if he's like struggling to get to the rim, he's struggling to make that separation getting downhill. Is that something you would like to see more? Just the playmaking, the fadeaway shooting, the jump hooking that he adds to his game. Is that something you will see him go to more? Because he only does it like once or twice a game.
Well, with the 3-point shooters that they have in both Hardaway and Malik Beasley, I mean, I feel like that could add even more to their offense because Cade being 6'7", he's such a mismatch when it comes to guards that he can get on the block and he can go to work on those guys, which he'll ultimately demand a double team. So when him demanding a double team with rotations and the passer that he is, he can get Hardaway more open looks. He can get Beasley more open looks. He can actually get Duren diving to the basket more. So I would love to see him operate on the box a little bit more and in the mid post more. Yes.
Yeah, I remember when Cade Cunningham was in. I remember when he was in Scotty Barnes talks. It's crazy.
That would have turned into a 30-minute debate. What you just said right there. We good. No one else is having that conversation. I think it depends on who's around. Like, I don't think you want to go to Cade Cunningham post ups when you got Asar and Jalen Duren on the court.
No,
because of spacing things. But if you do have the ample floor spacing around Cade, I do think he can punish those mismatches, and I think that's probably one of his more valuable skills is that you can't put small guards on him because he's not the quickest. So like the small guards can get under him and his handle's not the tightest. But when he's able to post them up, that limits teams and what they're able to do. Like, for example, they're not going to play the Cavs in the playoffs. But if you play the Cavs in the playoffs, you can't just put a Darius Garland on Cade. Like the Cavs are comfortable putting Darius Garland in switches. Like, that's the way they defend. They're comfortable doing that. But you do that against a guy like Cade who's able to post them up. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell. That offers some sort of issues in terms of what you can do schematically. So I do think he is a mismatch in that regard. And I would explore it a lot in the postseason. But it just comes down to the lineup configuration.
I'm really excited to see them play the Knicks if that's how the standings remain. I think that's going to be a really intense series.
We got some bangers in the first round. If everything stays how it's supposed to, we got some bangers. I ain't
only a game out the 4 spot though. But go ahead.
Shout out.
Are they?
Yeah, they're 7 games over 500 now. I think.
Yeah, they game out the 4. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They are 33 and 26. Yeah, they're 33 and 26.
Shout out to Detroit, but I don't. They're not beating New York, bro. Not in the playoffs, bro.
I don't think they're beating them, but I mean, it's a good test.
Nice little fun series.
Yeah, okay.
They're tied with the Bucks at the 5th seed right now.
Yeah, game out the 4 spot. One game.
Yeah.
Mars, you don't like that. You don't like Cade on the block. You don't like Cade on the block with a Sore and Duren because of spacing. What I'm thinking when you put Cade, not necessarily on the block, but you put him in the mid post. And when you get that double, if I get Duren diving to the basket, he doesn't stay. He dives and he clears. And when he clears, that gives the defense the defense shifts, which can now let Cade go into his action where he's attacking the double team, and now he's possibly getting whomever double teamed off of him, whether it's Hardaway, whether it's Malik Beasley, he can get those guys more involved in the action. I think that with the Sore and with Jalen Duren, of course, you're not getting those guys to shoot the ball in the perimeter, but I think that when you're getting these guys to dive to the rim and clear, I think that you get an action at the basket and shifting the defense.
So you can run that with the ball coming from a Sore.
What do you mean? Like if I'm Cade, where am I at?
He throws the entry and cuts through.
It has to be from a side, like not from the top. I'm talking about isolated.
So I'm on the right block and I'm asking for the ball. And
either block, still high on the block though. You still high up on the block.
I'm not on the back. I'm not on the box. I'm more in the mid post than I am on the box. Okay, I'm listening.
Right, and you can run that with your shooters weak side shifting high, like they're shifting when the ball drops. You can shift. Let's just say best case scenario, we got Malik and Tobias, or Malik and, because we can't be too small. So like let's say Hardaway. Malik and Tobias or whatever, to Hardaway, whoever. But they're coming from this side. The shooters are shifting up the lane as the source, dumping it to Cade and cutting through there. Now, if you have Jalen Duren either high post diving or in the dunker spot, a sword has got to cut all the way through. He could come off of that and run like a quick curl off of Jalen Duren, and Cade could dump it down to him or use the block go baseline. You know what I'm saying? Either way, that's quick action. You could run with that.
I want to make sure I'm following you, Ox. You said when we shifting, am I shifting toward the basketball? So Cade got the ball on the block. I got Hardaway at the break. I got Hardaway right. I got Hardaway on top of the break, and I got Beasley in the corner or next to the corner. Are we shifting toward Cade or are we shifting away from Cade?
We're shifting up the lane. So if you got one in the corner, one at the break, one shifts higher up on the wing, the other one replaces right there at the break.
I got you.
Just to get that weak side moving. They could run. So to your point, Mars, like technically, I wouldn't want to clog that up just because, like as you said, like they're not really shooting. But you can run some action, in Cade if Cade is able to pass out of that or work quick to the baseline. I think there's some options Coach Bickerstaff could run if you want Cade creating out of the post.
Yo, it's a reason why teams were successful in the 80s and 90s posting up. Now, obviously, they had supreme big men, like when you had Kareem in the post, Magic in the post, Hakeem in the post. Those guys are obviously the elite of the elite, and I'm not saying that Cade is them. But Cade is a very, very, very good passer. Cade can post up and have Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duren in the dunker spot. And it's like that man has to stay there because if he comes over and doubles, it's an easy drop off for a wide open dunker layup. So it's different ways to create and stuff like that. A sword can always dive when the ball's dumped down the Cade. It's different ways you could play out of it. I'm not necessarily saying do that, but it's certain ways you could do it. But I've always liked posting up when you have a big in the dunker spot because that you can't double from there. And on top of that, that big is there. They're right under the hoop to get a rebound.
Sure.
So we've seen Magic dump that pass down a million times where he's doubled and he drops the pass off right there for a dunk.
That's what.
So it's different ways you could play out of it.
With athletes out there, with the athletes that they got, like some of these teams got athletes to where I've said it before, where a missed shot is an assist. You know what I'm saying? Some of these teams got assists where our athletes where it's like, yo, if I got y'all down there. And whether your man comes or stays, you know what I'm saying? I'll get that ball in the rim. We got just as good of a chance to get the ball back as they do. I mean, they got personnel. And Mars, the kid is solid.
I just feel like
he might be the better twin.
The infusion of let's relax.
We always make stuff into it.
Let's get to the polls.
Even if he is like, that's fine. It's just like. We don't like when a man plays well, we don't need to be like, oh, see, he's better than Asar. And then when Asar plays well, we don't need to be like, well, is he really better than a man? Sometimes they're both just really good.
Yeah, but it's from a place of love. I'm not trying to hate on the men.
I'm sure they're having those conversations though. I'm sure they're
they're not. I'd be shocked if they aren't saying that they're better than the other. I mean, Amen just had 25 last night. I'm sure he's like,
right. Amen played good last night. I like what he was. Like I said, I'm just bigging up the Sar a little bit.
I'm about to say Ox look like Ox like the dad that he got twins, and you might look better in that suit than he does, even though they both clean as hell in the suits.
Asar is great. Asar is great. It's he was playing well. He went out obviously, but I mean, I don't think it was anything too serious. But I think. The thing that I think has made him grow as much is when they started giving him the ball more offensively to show that he can do more than just like crash and offensive rebound and put back and play in the dunker spot. Like he was now getting reps as a ball handler. Like I remember that Philly game where Cade wasn't playing and they beat the Sixers. And Asar was like their point guard, and he was doing like a lot of interesting things where you could see that he can do more than just be a role player offensively. Like he can initiate offense, he can get guys involved. He is a supreme athlete. I think if I were to compare him to Amen, I think the difference is Amen just has like better touch around the rim in terms of being able to finish and the floaters and stuff. And he is a way better shooter, which is surprising because pre-draft people said Asar was the better shooter, but I think missing so much time for the blood clots and stuff, he probably just didn't get as much time and reps to develop. But I do think he is really special. And defensively, like I said, he would have been on my all defensive team if he was healthy the whole season because he's a menace on defense. He's ridiculous. So yeah, the Twins they're gonna have long, very productive careers. Although I am concerned just this season about how they look in the postseason, but I think long term they're gonna be amazing. So
and Ron, to your point, the infusion of the long ball has really given us a bunch of different options off the strength that so much spacing, and when you got a big guard like Cade Cunningham on the box, you got to cover so much more space. We didn't have that in the 90s. Like you had guys, Dan Marley could shoot the long ball, right? Danny Ainge could shoot the long ball. Dale Ellis could shoot the long ball. They weren't doing it at the rate that these guys are doing it, and you weren't expected to have to guard the long ball line. So the amount of space that was had to cover wasn't nearly as much as it is today. I'm too busy, trying to double team. I'm too busy trying to double team off of Olajuwon and worrying about knocking down a 17-footer where there wasn't as much space as opposed to now where you got Klay Thompson who stretched the defense out to almost 30 feet. There's way more space to cover. So when you operating on a box with a guy like Cade Cunningham and you got guys like Jalen Duren or Sora Thompson diving to the basket, and you got guys like Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway who can consistently on any night knock down the long ball, I feel like that's a recipe for success with that Detroit team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to be interesting in the playoffs. It's just I don't know if they have enough, but they're a young team. There's no rush on the process. They don't need to win immediately.
Nobody, Mars. Nobody sees a team that loses almost 30 straight games and then next year go, yo, we trying to win a championship. Relax, chill out.
Yeah, like it's step by step. See, the playoffs can only do good for them.
Yes.
Whether that's them helping them figure out who's like what young guys really they view as like building blocks, or just helping them figure out where they might be going wrong, what they need to work on. All of those things, the playoffs can only help. So it's going to be valuable experience for them for sure.
Quick question: if you go in the offseason, right, you just lose to the Knicks in a hard-fought 6 games. What's the idea of Lauri marketing? Like, let's go check out Lauri. Let's see what he can do. See if we can bring him in Detroit.
For what?
Extra offense, extra spacing, extra value.
Who's going out?
Sora's not going anywhere.
I mean,
it
depends on why they lose in the postseason. I think what they do in the offseason will be dependent on what they view they need after the offseason, whether they are moving off Jalen Duren because defensively he just wasn't tenable in a playoff series and they haven't seen enough in 3 years, or maybe it is an upgrade from Tobias Harris. Not to say Tobias Harris hasn't been good this year because he has, but maybe they do want that extra offensive punch, especially as a floor spacer. Maybe that's something they look into, or maybe it's we did all of this without Jaden Ivey. Can we get Cade a different backcourt partner instead of Jaden Ivey? And I know that might be harsh or whatever because Jaden Ivey was playing well before the injury and stuff, but like there's options Detroit will have, and I think it will just depend on how they lose in the postseason, or even if they win a first round series. Like whenever they lose, I think it's safe to say they're not winning the championship. Right. So whenever they lose, I think just they'll evaluate their roster based on what unfolded in the postseason. I think is probably I can't just give them if they got this guy, because maybe they don't need that guy based on what happens in the postseason. But I would like Naruto.
The thing that concerns me about a team like Detroit when they come into the playoffs and they have a good showing, let's just say for the sake of argument, the playoffs started today, to your point, John, and they ended up seeing the Knicks in round 1, and it's a 6-7 game dogfight. Instead of building off that, they might try to do something drastic, like we got to make a major improvement right now, and we might have to try to get rid of one of our main cogs to upgrade and rush this process instead of continuously building off of what you had. I think them playing the Knicks in the first round will be a good thing for them. I think that it's going to be a 6, maybe even a 7 game series.
Yeah.
I think it could be something like that. I do. I think it's going to be something like that. I'm just worried, to Mars's point, like to move off of Ivy, who one was the coach. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the coach's name from last year. Monty Williams, who he had no idea what he was doing with him last season, and then this season he comes in and he's actually playing really good for JB Bickerstaff. He's putting him in space where he can score. He's putting him in spots where he can be productive before he gets hurt. I think that's their starting 2 guard. So instead of building off that, they may do something drastic, like come off of him and not just upgrade, but upgrade to their detriment.
You remember how uncomfortable he looked last year? Like
they had no idea what they were doing with him.
Yeah,
no idea.
He would be in the offense just looking not even lost, but just uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Just in weird places. Now, it is a coach's job to put his players in places to be comfortable, but I mean, you still got to get better as a player. You know what I'm saying? It's on you if you're uncomfortable in certain places. But I think he's gotten better, and I just think Coach Bickerstaff has just done a much better job with this squad. Like he actually wants to be there.
That's the biggest difference to me.
So
until my bad, Ron, real quick. To Tay's point in the chat, because Jaden Ivey got to know a little bit about the game. Like his mother is the head coach at Notre Dame. She's heavy in the basketball community. You know what I'm saying? So he grew up around basketball. Right. So I mean, I don't think the kid's a Nimrod. You know what I'm saying?
No, he know the game. I think so. I do.
So Mars had asked, or he had made a statement. He said Ron's probably going to ask about the playoffs. That's not what I want to ask you guys. But I do want to ask what's next for the Pistons. What do you think could be the next best steps that they can make in terms of free agent signings, or trading? Maybe you say nothing. Well, what do you guys think are the next steps in terms of them being the most successful team that they could be moving into the future?
Mars and I had this conversation last year, and I think that the progression of a team, whether it's getting a favorable matchup in the first round, whether it's having some fortune with health, I think that's progression. Mars has a tendency to think that because you get a favorable matchup, that doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, for example, with Cleveland, I think Cleveland's ceiling this year, I think, is the East Finals. I think that's as far as they go, which is
ceiling.
I think that's their ceiling.
That's their ceiling. The best they could do.
Yeah, I think the best they can do is win a championship.
Insanity. That is
why is that insanity?
That's how I know. That's pure bias. That's pure Celtics bias. Their ceiling. They've been, so just to be clear,
please
ceiling is your maximum potential. Yes. Their maximum is they have been the best team in the NBA
in the regular season
this year.
100%.
They've been the best team in the East the entire season.
That's a really high ceiling.
No, hold on. Let me just finish.
I mean, if I say the 2017 Warriors ceiling is the conference finals,
yeah, they've been the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's all relative, is what I'm saying.
Between them and the Boston Celtics all year, their ceiling is making it to the finals and winning. Based on how well they're performing, they have been better than the Boston Celtics all year. That's 100% facts. The question is,
no, they haven't.
Can they? Yes, they. No,
they haven't.
I want to be clear about this, show. They have quite literally been better by a margin than the Celtics this year, the entire season. The question is, can they transfer regular season dominance to a playoff setting like the Boston Celtics? We believe that they can and will is the question. Cleveland, they can absolutely win a title. Again, Joe, you got to understand this. Like, as somebody who has to track this stuff every single week, almost damn near every single day, the Cleveland Cavaliers are right behind. The OKC has a plus 12.6 net rating this year. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a plus 11.3. Don't get me, that's higher than the Celtics last year. They're dominating the regular season at a higher pace than the Celtics did last season. So I think that's just wholly unfair for Celtics fans and for Celtics supporters.
And with everything that
cannot win the title this year.
With everything that you just said and how much better they've been than the Celtics as a whole, however they've been, in order for them to get to the NBA championship, where does that road go through? That road goes through a team
it's not impossible though.
I didn't say it was impossible.
But if you say ceiling, ceiling means ceiling is the highest you can go.
Okay, so
if you say the best they can do is the conference finals, you're saying there is no way they can get out the East. That's what you're saying.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think that they can get past the Boston Celtics.
Which means you think there's no chance they have to beat Boston.
I don't think that they can beat Boston 4 times.
So
in a
the
week.
Celtics,
no, I don't.
Yeah, but that's why I think
that's
saying they have zero chance to beat Boston.
That's why I think that's their ceiling, 100%. Not because
that's not a ceiling.
To him, it's the ceiling, Swiper.
Yeah, like, in
that same breath, dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they disagree, and I don't want to because we're talking about the Pistons, but I want to. In that same breath, does that mean you think Boston's floor is making it to the finals?
Yes, I do. Because they were the NBA. Yes, because they were the NBA. Because they were. Why is that insane? They were the NBA.
You're the worst version of yourself. The worst version of the Boston Celtics is getting steamrolled by the Detroit Pistons. That's their worst version. The worst version of the Boston Celtics is losing 4-2 in a series to a team that's going to beat them up. That's their floor. That's a real floor.
When have we seen
actual floor?
So if that's true, Swiper, when have we seen their floor?
I just saw him get mopped yesterday. I saw him get mopped.
So if you saw them get
floor, correct?
So you did see them.
That's their floor, right?
Wait a minute,
their
Ross.
floor is they can get mopped up.
Let's stay right there, Moss. Because if you seen them get mopped, you also saw them go into Cleveland and stop them.
You know what's funny? Chill. We haven't seen. And again, this is why this is important to bring up because we haven't seen the Boston Celtics. I agree with you, Chill. I would pick them to go to the finals. I'm upset with your notion that the ceiling. I want you to hear how crazy you sound. The ceiling for the Cleveland Cavaliers is the conference finals.
Yep.
The floor for the Boston Celtics is making the finals. The reason why that's egregious is last year we didn't see the Boston Celtics play versus a real team in the Eastern Conference, period, the entire way up to the finals. So what I'm saying to you, if the run is different this year, what does that
even mean?
Because everybody was injured. They literally. Chill. Listen, I'm not even trying to. I'm not trying to relitigate. I'm just saying in the context of what we're saying right now. They did not face any healthy full team through the NBA Finals last year. So they ran through the East and West 16-3. That what I'm saying is they could do that again. I'm on your side. I would even say everybody versus the Thunder, they have a legitimate, I think, real legitimate favorite shot to win any series. I agree. But saying that their floor is the finals, I think is also disrespectful to Cleveland. And also, I think it lacks the context. There are teams in the East that could absolutely go body for body with the Boston Celtics at their very best. If the Celtics, for instance, the Celtics are going to shoot 48% of their shot profile from three this year. We again in the playoff, we know they're going to do. Chill. Let's legitimately say they go on a stretch where 3 of those games they shoot sub 34% from three on crazy volume, and the other team feels good. They feel comfortable because they don't have any defender that can really get with them. Let's just pretend that happens. Of course, they can lose the series. Even however good you think Jayson Tatum is, you've also said Jayson Tatum is playing within a scheme. He's going to play within the scheme that he has been developed in and that the team's been developed in, and they don't make their jump shots, then what happens? So what I'm saying is I don't think that's a credit to everybody else in the East that's worked as hard as they've had to get up to this point, especially for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's what I'm saying.
You can work as hard as you possibly can, but in the end, if you're not better than somebody, you're just not better.
Cleveland's better than them.
So with what Cleveland has right now, and the way that they've been progressing, the year before they got Donovan Mitchell, which is where this started. When I was talking to Mars, which is where this started. The year before they got Donovan Mitchell, they were a play-in team. They get Donovan Mitchell, they get bounced in the first round. They lose to the Knicks. Last year, they advanced to the conference semifinals. They were hurt with Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell ended up going out, I believe, in Game 5. But they did make progress. This season, they've been healthy for the most part, and with them being healthy, Evan Mobley has actually made a jump. He's made a jump offensively and defensively. With him making that jump offensively and defensively, they've gotten much better. I need to see that transfer into the playoffs, which I don't think he's
Evan
there.
Mobley was good in the playoff last year.
Chill. Can I ask you a question? How far do you think the Thunder? How far do you think the Thunder can go? Do you think the Thunder can win a championship?
Yeah, what's their floor and their ceiling?
I think the Thunder can get to the NBA championship. I don't think they can win it though. No.
Oh my gosh.
The same reason why I don't think they can. The same reason why I don't think the Cavs can win it. And
they're even better. They're even better than Boston was last year.
So
Like
it's just
do
is
you
Boston
think
the
Boston's the
favorite?
only team that can win the title this year?
I think Boston is the team. I think they're the favorites for me. I don't think.
Let me having a conversation.
Let me answer your question. I don't think that there's
Who
any
else is
team
in the conversation?
I don't think that there's any team in the league that can beat them 4 times in a week. I don't think so. I don't think there's one team in the league today that can beat them 4 times in a week. I don't think so. I don't.
Can we get back to the West real quick? What about the Mavericks?
Oklahoma City is as good as Cleveland is, as good as Cleveland.
So
is,
Boston's floor is winning the title.
No, I think Boston's floor is getting to the NBA championship.
No, but if you don't think anyone
don't think anybody can beat them
at all, though. Anybody can beat them 4 times.
Then their floor is winning the championship, not winning the championship.
Making it
and losing means that you think there's a team that can beat them.
No, making it is their floor. That's them getting to.
But
who can beat them? You just said no one can beat them in a series.
If you think no one can beat them,
I don't.
That means if they make the finals, they are going to win it. Which means
that's not their floor. You realize that's not their floor. No, Mars. Let me correct you. The ceiling for the Boston Celtics, based on the scenario you drummed up for us, the ceiling is they go 16-0 through the playoffs.
No, I didn't say
that's
that.
their ceiling. No, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because their floor, based on what you just said, they're still winning the title. It's just a harder route. It's just a harder route. It's a harder route than expected, but they still win the title. But the other side of that, their ceiling has to then be that they're running through the playoffs and the finals. No competition at their very best ceiling. So let's just say everybody fully healthy. They would the NBA will be lucky to take 2 games off the Boston Celtics at their very best. Is that fair?
I think the Cavs is a 6-game series alone.
Everyone acting as if I'm saying the Celtics aren't the favorites or whatever the case. All I'm doing is trying to understand what Chill's saying. I don't have a horse in this race. But Chill said he doesn't think anyone can beat Boston in a series.
I heard the same thing.
And then in the same breath is saying that their floor is making the finals.
I heard the same thing.
But if they make the finals and you think no one can beat them,
that
means if they make the finals, you think they're going to win it. which means their floor has to be winning the championship. That's all I'm
saying. And keep in mind, we're talking about the same team that got choke slammed by the Detroit Pistons last night.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't win. I'm not saying they can't win the chip. I'm not saying they aren't the favorites. I'm not saying Chill is wrong because of Boston's record is the third best in the league. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is based on what Chill was saying, he's saying Boston's floor is winning a title. That's crazy to me.
I'm saying that Boston getting to the NBA championship, I think that's the worst.
Who can beat them? Who has a chance to beat them in the series?
I can't see anybody in the Eastern Conference beating them.
Okay. Hold on, Mark.
I'm not done, Swiper. No, because what you're going to do?
I just want to answer the question at the top.
Okay, nobody can beat them. Nobody, Swiper.
No one can beat them in a series.
I don't think anybody. I just said that 4 times already.
Well, you realize then your floor is not the finals. Then your floor is winning. Based on the context, you're saying no one has a chance.
So you guys want to turn this into something completely different?
No, it's not.
I think that they walking through the NBA championship.
No, I'm just listening. You always do this.
Yeah, chill.
This is crazy. You've done this already before. I'm not over this perfection gimmick. This is the chill gimmick.
Stand on business, Chill Town.
All I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make my point that this is how I see the Boston Celtics. Last year, Last year, I saw them when they played against the Miami Heat. They had in 4 of those 5 games, they had leads of 28, 33, 37, and 38. Even if Jimmy Butler is on that roster, they still not beating them. So they still handle them. They ended up sweeping the Indiana Pacers, and Tyrese Halliburton played 2 of the 4 games. 2 of the 4 games. So with him, they still beat them. Even if he doesn't play, they just don't sweep them. Even if they may get a game, maybe even 2 games. And don't forget, Porzingis only played, I think, 3 or 4 games last year in the playoffs. What I'm saying is, this season, with this team being as healthy as they've been, and the way that they've been playing, and as much as I see Cleveland doing what they're doing, I'm not sure that Evan Mobley is there yet in terms of winning the NBA championship. I don't think he's there yet. Just like I don't think J-Dub is there yet. It's a difference when you are competing in the regular season than competing for the NBA championship. Those 2 things are completely different, and you have to turn your game up, and you have to turn your game up to a different level. And I don't think that Evan Mobley is there yet. I feel like Evan Mobley is still a year away, just like I feel like J-Dub is a year away, and they don't
This is not the context we're in. This is not even what we're talking about. You're going on a run and a rant that has nothing to do with what any of us are asking.
Yeah, that's not. No, Swiper, please. No one has a problem that you think the Celtics are the favorites, because I can say it up here. I think the Celtics are the favorites. I don't know about John D. I don't know about Ox. I don't know about Swiper.
Mars, you know about me. We just did this Sunday. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. So, facts. But,
come on, Mars.
No one has a problem with you thinking the Celtics are the favorites. But the issue I have, and you do this a lot, you say things, and then I say the implications of what you are saying, and then you act as if I'm grasping this out of thin air. When you say you think no one can beat Boston in a series, and then you say, well, I think their floor is only making the finals, by that definition, you are saying in the worst case scenario, they make the finals, but then they lose in that series because that's their floor, not winning the championship, making the finals. And then we ask you, okay, so who would they lose to in the finals? And you say, well, I don't think anyone can beat them. So what I'm saying is, based on what you are saying,
basically, which one is it? That's what you're saying.
Based on what you are saying, you are saying the floor of the Celtics is winning the championship. That's the issue I have. Not that you think the Celtics are the favorites, because I think more likely than not, I think the Celtics probably do win the title this year. I think they are probably the best team in the NBA. I have no issue with them being the favorites. That's a completely different thing than saying worst case scenario, still no one beats them. That's 2 different things. My issue is not with you saying they are the favorites. It's with you saying worst case scenario, they still win the championship, but then saying their floor is only making the finals, which implies you think they make the finals and lose, but no one can beat them. That doesn't make sense.
Sure, it doesn't.
Like, you can't say both of those things.
You're 100% correct in that. So I don't think that Oklahoma City can beat them 4 times in a week. Is it possible that Oklahoma City can beat them 4 times in a week? Yes, 100%. So let me clarify that. Is it possible that if they saw Denver, if they saw the Lakers in the NBA championship, is it possible that one of these teams can beat them? Yes, that's where the floor comes in. So if they ended up in the NBA finals and they did lose, that's the floor. I just don't think that anybody can beat them, but they can be beat. Just because I don't think anybody can beat them does not mean that they can't be beat, because they can 100% be beat. That's not so. If I can clarify that, I don't think that anybody can beat them, but they can be beat. They aren't the 2001 Lakers. They ain't the 87. They ain't the 87 Lakers. They ain't the 96 Bulls. I'm not going that far. What I am saying is I don't think that anybody can beat them. I do think that it is possible that they could be beat.
That was my only issue.
Is that fair?
We're at a different place than we were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just understanding what you was said, the implications of what was said, and that's why we had this whole argument. You just saying Boston are the favorites to you, I have no problem with that.
I think this energy is a lot different, because last year, from March on, when we all said that the Celtics should be favored going into the playoffs, your energy towards the Celtics when they were doing what Cleveland is doing right now was way different. Way different. They were blitzing people all year, and you were sold from the moment the moment we got on stream together in February to the end of the finals. You were 100% sold on what the Boston Celtics were doing, and I'm saying to you that energy for the Cleveland Cavaliers is not there, even though they've been even more dominant than the Celtics were last year. And again, I think personally that's in part due to favoritism because of Jayson Tatum, which I'm good with. You have a favorite team, stand with it. I'm just saying that for me, it sounded nuts.
Well,
this idea that Cleveland. Go ahead.
Do you think it's just because like the Celtics may be able to give them some matchup problems though? Because like I recognize what the Cavs are doing, but it's just like some of the matchup problems that the Celtics give them. It's just like, how are they really going to combat that?
Some of the matchup problems that the Celtics give the Cavs.
Yeah. Like attacking Darius Garland on mismatches, like attacking Donovan Mitchell, things of that nature. It's like
they haven't had a lot of success.
Making not just attacking Darius Garland, but force switching, because they screen so well. That's one of the main reasons why they get the switches that they get. That's the main reason why they get Darius Garland and switches on the Jayson Tatum. That's why they get not just Derek White, but that's why they get, let's say, Isaac Okoro switched onto Porzingis, because they screen so well. And when they have those lineups in the game, they go after guys like Okoro. They go after guys like the kid that played for the Miami Heat last year, Strus. They go after those guys largely due to them switching. Now, to Swiper's point, well, number one, the reason why I was as high on the Celtics as I was as opposed to Cleveland, well, the Celtics had a completely different history than what Cleveland had. The Celtics had already been in the NBA championship. They had been to the Eastern Conference Finals more than once, more than twice. So they had already been knocking on the door. They were close. And on top of that, what they had done going into the playoffs, they had the best record in the NBA. They had one of the best net ratings in NBA history.
So the Cavs, basically.
But they didn't have the history that the Boston Celtics have coming into this playoffs. And that's the reason why I was as high on Boston as I am. That's why I wasn't as high on Cleveland as I am, because I still feel like Cleveland is progressing, getting to that point. I don't think that they're there yet. I feel like the Celtics last year, I feel like they were there, and I feel like they're there now. I feel like this is a team that can stay where they are, considering what the new CBA is. I think that they can stay where they are for another year, quite possibly two. But that's as far as I'm going, considering what the CBA is.
Yo, chill.
Sir.
I said this last night on Playback, and I'm going to say it here. Now, obviously, the Boston Celtics are the Boston Celtics. But first and foremost, I do want to say that the gap in talent has caught up with them. The Thunder are who they are. The Cavs are who they are. You can even say a couple other teams too. The Dallas Mavericks with Anthony Davis, a healthy Anthony Davis. Even the Lakers with Luka and LeBron. What I'm saying is, if the Celtics continue to play this brand of basketball and this style of basketball, I don't believe that they can three-point shoot their way to another championship.
Ron, just so you know, before yesterday, they had won 9 of their last 10 games. They had lost once in their last 10 games.
And the Cavs are on an 8-game winning streak, but you don't want to give them credit.
Playing this brand of basketball. What do you mean? Not?
So now you're a Cavs hater? That's crazy.
Before the season, can you believe that? I mean, before the season started, I'm the one who was telling y'all how good the Cavs were going to be. That I think they were going to be this good.
And now you're telling us they're not as good as you, as we believe that you thought.
I'm not.
We're all now. You just exposed that we are all higher on the Cavs than you are. So who's the real Cavs believers?
I didn't think that they were this. I didn't think that they were going to be this good in terms of being a championship contender. I thought that they could get to the East Finals. I thought that they would be that good, which is where I still stand because I don't think they can get past Boston. But that doesn't mean that I don't still praise the Cavs. I think Evan Mobley's going to be on the All-Pro team this year. How many of you dudes thought that? I thought Evan Mobley was the defensive player of the year this year with Wemby being healthy. How many of you dudes thought that? None of y'all.
Well, he wasn't going to win DPOY.
None of y'all.
Chill. I'm just saying this year isn't last year. Now, I'm not saying that the Celtics don't have the recipe to win a championship, and I'm not saying that they can't. I just don't believe if they come out and shoot 1 million threes a night, Jayson Tatum shooting no step backs, Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown has taken a step back. Drew Holiday's been in and out the lineup. I'm telling you, I just feel like the talent in the league is caught up with them. They don't. It's other teams that can come and shoot it out with them and match their defensive prowess,
right? And
do other things. So I'm saying, like, Celtics going to have to figure some things out, and they're going to have to. Joe Mazzulla's going to have to get in his coaching bag and do some other things. I don't think that they can win the championship.
Well, they're not changing their play style though, so they easily could. They not easily. If they win a title, it's going to be off the back of what they always do. So they're not changing their play style. They're going to go to the finals more than likely, and they would win the finals with their own play style. So that's just what it is. Like, there's no changing anything. The question is for OKC is, are they going to be able to take their regular season dominance for a defense that's slipping as of late, but it's probably just because it's February and they're not committing the same amount of effort defensively. And then when you get to a playoff setting, are you going to have enough shot making around SGA? Because I think the blitzing the SGA thing is going to work at time, because you're going to ask all these other people to keep making all these buckets. I think it matters. OKC fans think, well, SGA had 39 points. It's like, well, okay, but if you're shooting fourth quarter shots and everybody around you's cold and the situation's different, as Ox knows, as Ron knows, as Chill knows, when you play basketball, shots in the fourth quarter aren't the same as shots in the first quarter. So things can be different. I do think OKC can run into a lot of issues through the playoffs. Because I think if right now OKC can have to go to the Wolves, OKC will go to the Lakers, OKC can have to go to Denver, and then they have to go to the Celtics. I think OKC and the Celtics are the two favorites to make the NBA Finals. There's ways the Celtics can beat them. But I 100% think that the OKC Thunder and a couple other teams, if they get right, can beat the Celtics in the setting. But who am I putting my money on? I say Thunder and Celtics. And as of right now, I'm going to respect the fact that the Thunder have been historically great, even though their record is not as good as Cleveland. I'm going to say the Thunder more than likely could end up in the finals and win the finals based on regular season precedents. But to your point, you got to add in some of the playoff stuff as well. I just think SGA is that good too.
Ron, the things you said though, the things you said, Ron, a moment ago about all the things that the Celtics would have to overcome, it just sounds like you're saying they will basically have to be a championship caliber team, which they clearly are. They are. And I'm saying they just won it, and not, saying that they're clearly of that caliber still. But the things you laid out, the way the adversity that they would have to face to win another ring, just sounds to me like you're talking about a championship team. Like, this is what they would have to do. And I think
everybody has to overcome adversity to win a championship. So
exactly. But not everybody is a championship caliber team with everything involved. Like you see teams right now that are playing really good that you're like, man, that's a good team. They're contenders. They got action. In all actuality, when it gets down to what they have to get through in the playoffs, the adversity they have to face, you realize that team was never a contender at all. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that's gonna break these regular teams, these regular season teams, these teams that look good from October to mid-April, but once April, May, June come around, you're not built like that. So
the four teams
they're not all created equal. All adversity is not created equal, right?
The four teams I laid out, I believe, have the capacity to do that. But also, too, above the whole, championship spirit and mentality and all of that, Mars has laid it out so eloquently to us many of times that it is a game of numbers and there is math in it. So if the Celtics math is to shoot more threes than you and make more threes than you, some of those teams I laid out can shoot it out with the Celtics. It's not the Celtics. It's not the era now where everybody has arrows like the Indians and the Celtics are the only ones with gunpowder.
No.
These other teams have gunpowder too.
No.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have gunpowder. If you want to shoot it out with the Cleveland Cavaliers, good luck, Boston. Because we got gunners too. We got shooters in the Uber too. OKC, they got gunpowder too. They can shoot it out with them, and yes, they do. Yes, they do. They got shooters too. They have
Ron,
the best.
You hate Oklahoma City shooters. In fact, you've told me I'm living with Lou Dort shooting the basketball. I'm living with Aaron Wiggins shooting the basketball. You said that.
Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins.
You think that the Oklahoma City Thunder want to get in a shootout with the Boston Celtics? Hell no, they don't want to do that.
It's a different type of shootout.
It's not that simple. I just don't know.
I don't even know where that came from.
Okay, are you talking about just firepower? Or are you talking about shooters, bro?
I'm talking about firepower. With OKC, it's firepower. With OKC, it's firepower. It's not necessarily just shooting.
OKC's not even a top 10 3-point shooting team. Number one,
and
then
number
two, they're not even top 10 in volume or efficiency. That's not how they're going to be.
Did you just hear what I just said?
And anybody, by the way, I just want to be clear. Any coach out here that's whatever that's listening to this, which is probably not, and they're probably not taking advice from us. They may, because Ox and Ron and Chill are here, both of them, all three of them, expert players. But I personally would, because some of that dog stuff you believe in is real. I'm sorry, bro. You got to be a dog.
I mean, I think you should take advice from Florida. I think they should, but they won't.
But look, listen, this idea that you somehow are going to get in a shootout with a Boston Celtics sounds crazy.
I don't think that's what Ron was saying.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to try
with the Cavs. I'm saying that. I believe the Cavs
right.
That's
why Ox. That's what I'm saying. Let me just deal with Ron, because I think sometimes, like, you hear things a certain way. And I'm trying to make sure for him that I just want people to understand this. The Celtics shoot 54% of their shot profile from three. Like, do you know how ridiculous that is? That's 6% higher.
They have
than
to make
the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's my point.
But they generate better 3-point looks than anybody in the league.
That's cool, but you still have to make the shots.
They fall victim to variance. Yes, that's correct.
I'm saying we've seen it happen with the Houston Rockets. That's I'm saying
in a singular game. Yeah, the likelihood of them losing 4 times because of variance in a series is crazy low, but it's possible. I agree. I just disagree with the idea of the Cavs can get in a shootout with it. Boston don't give up threes. It's not just this team has shooters. I guess they can get in a shootout with Boston. Boston are very conscious about the 3-point shot. They don't give up threes. When they played the Cavs, this team that they can get in a shootout with, they shot 48, 49, and 41 threes. That's the Boston Celtics in those games. The Cavs shot 39, 36, and 29.
And you want to know why
dominate the volume.
And you want to know,
come close.
And that's cool. But you want to know why the Cavs can do that and still shoot it out with them and still have the upper hand. I'm not even gonna necessarily say the upper hand, but still have other things they can get to, because they have twin towers and they have other things that they can do too. They would let Darius Garland get downhill. They'll let Donovan Mitchell get downhill. So not only will they shoot it out with him and get up a good amount of threes, but they have other things that they can do too. So I'm saying, like, it's not just the shootout part too. It's some of these other teams have other things in their arsenal that they can throw at the Celtics. Whereas with the Celtics, it's just like you just mentioned, the Swiper, 54% of our profile is shooting threes. So now we literally are living and dying by the three. Now, what happens when Cleveland is hot and the Twin Towers are going down low and people are getting
the one game they beat the Celtics was the game where they shot 47% from three.
So they can get hot too. That's the point. That's the only point I'm making.
That was the game they won. They shot 40-some% from three. Like, it's cool. I'm not on the side of Chill where things that are unbeatable in the Eastern Conference. I think the Cavs could beat them. I just don't agree with this team can also get in a shootout with Boston. That's the part I disagree with. Like, it's just Boston are very conscious about the 3-point shot. If there's any team that studied the numbers of the three, it's the Celtics. There's a reason why they shoot, like Swiper said, over half of their shots from three. But in terms of 3-point shots allowed, they're in the top 10 defensively. The only teams that give up less threes, like the elite defenses, are like Orlando and Houston. Everyone else, like, they give up like 36% of their shots from three on defense and then shoot 51% of their shots from three on offense. They just dominate that 3-point disparity a lot. You don't beat Boston by out shooting them. That's not how you win.
And now you win another way. You don't win. I laid out a great thread, by the way. If anybody's interested in how you would beat Boston with 2-point shots and the kind of efficiency you would have to shoot with, you can also find that on the Twitter as well. Just go ahead.
I think there's an avenue for a team like OKC to beat Boston, though, especially with their defense, because once again we've seen OKC lock down some of the best offenses in the league. I mean, they held the Celtics to 27 points and a half. They held the Cavs to 14 points and a quarter. And the part about the Celtics is they love getting teams in rotation rotation. It happens often, but OKC has that speed. They have that athleticism. They have the hands that they have on defense to where they can make those rotations on time. They can get up really good contest against Boston. And a lot of things I heard about when they played Boston was just like, oh, Boston's not going to keep shooting like this, which may be true, but people were making it seem like they were just getting open looks and they were just missing. No, OKC was contesting those shots and they was making those shots as tough as they possibly could. So once again, if you're going to lean on that 3-point shooting and you have a team that can rotate so well, a team that can play one-on-one so well, because we seen Boston do it last year. They're like, okay, I trust my guy one-on-one, so we don't have to necessarily play the gap as much. I think OKC can do the same thing, and then they can make rotations a lot easier if they have a lot more guys they can trust one-on-one. So there's an avenue for OKC to beat Boston without it being a shootout. And I think that's where they can play if they just have the right scheme defensively. SGA is playing to the level he is, and we get some contributions because, once again, we seen it just the other night. OKC's offense can go cold for a while. So that's
they're heavily, and to your point, John, they're heavily dependent on one guy. That's not what's going on with the Celtics. The Celtics aren't heavily dependent on one guy to score. Well, not heavily dependent on one guy.
So he's not the MVP then, I guess. No, but no, I do think.
In fact, right quick, yo,
they're very heavily.
Go ahead. Hold that thought right quick, yo, Maddie. What's going on, my man? We got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I want to hear how you feel about the Eastern Conference, the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Pistons, to be specific. But before we do that, there's a beautiful app called PrizePicks that you guys should be interested in simply because you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately win your game over here at PrizePicks. Now, it's very simple. When you play $5, you get 50 back instantly. And it's ironic because when's the last time somebody just gave you $50? No strings attached. And said, go turn that 50 into, well, whatever you would like to turn it into. Well, this is what PrizePicks is essentially doing. When you
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I was like, is that me?
Yeah, I thought it was me. I was like, I gotta reset it. I gotta reset the equipment.
We just make our picks? Is that what we do? We're gonna do it anyway. Let's do it.
I thought that was we don't need Ron. We don't need Ron.
Yeah, what you got, Ron? Mars?
Is Jonathan Kuminga available? Because I think he's back tonight.
Let me take the last.
Let's see. Is JK available?
Let me pull this up.
I see Jimmy, Moses, Steph. Nah, JK's not on here.
Let me go look at some Franz Wagner.
Okay.
Got some big games tonight.
Yes, you do.
France. Where we going?
We got Denver, Milwaukee, but
take the under.
He's at 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
I like 28.5 points and assists more. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheer.
Can I take a look at Steph Curry in Orlando tonight?
Okay. Let's go.
See what Steph Curry looks like in South Florida. 24 and a half, points and rebounds, 33 and a half. The PRA, 33 and a half. I'm going to take the more on that one. I think I can get more from Steph. I think I can get more than 33 and a half from Steph.
He's well rested considering he barely played against the Hornets.
Yeah, he didn't play much.
Let me ask y'all.
Swipe, you got a pick?
Well, tell me if you think I'm tripping. So Giannis is on a minutes restriction. Do you think more or less on 47.5 points, rebounds?
I don't know, bro. But you got to make
against your rim protection.
Well, how long is he going to play? I think I'm taking the more there. But give me Anthony Edwards more 28.5. Ron.
Who the Timberwolves play tonight?
Lakers.
They play LA.
John D, give me what you say, Swiper? Anthony
more
Edwards
on 28 for Anthony Edwards.
Okay, John D, I need your pick quick.
Give me Luka. Let me see what Luka got on the line. Yeah, it's about to get real now. Luckily, Luka ain't got no demon pick. Give me the 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We rocking with Luka. We rocking with Luka.
Gotcha.
I'm 3-0 in PrizePicks, by the way.
You like
Every
you like
see,
it?
every time I see him in a Lakers jersey.
It look
it's
wild
just-
as hell, don't it? It look wild as hell.
All right, so we
It
got
look great. I ain't gonna lie. It look great. It give me chills in my back.
No, it don't.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, y'all, real quick. Let's wrap this up real quick. We got Franz Wagner Moore, 28.5 points and assists. We got Steph Curry Moore, 33.5 PRA. We also have Anthony Edwards, more than 28.5 points, and Luka Doncic, last but not least, with 43.5 PRA. More on that. $10 turns into $100. We're gonna go ahead and place that. Y'all make sure to tap into your PrizePicks.
Take it.
Hey, man, I'm taking a swing tonight, y'all. If I hit, everybody gonna eat. I'm telling you that right now.
I was just about to say, I was looking at them prize picks. I could put a big.
I ain't got no Hail Mary. Look, John D. They ain't gonna tell you, bro. I would made y'all some money, bro. Y'all be listening to me, bro. I'm telling y'all, I'm winning tonight. Mars gonna get a free flight.
I'm swinging for the fences too. So wait a second. If you win, you're gonna fly
No,
Mars
I'm saying
out.
free flight because PC next we do PC week in Atlanta. That's what
Oh,
I'm doing.
okay. Damn. All right, so
I was actually looking at a new spot. By the way, I found a brand new spot for us, man, in Atlanta, bro. We can do a live show there. It was cold. It was cash.
oh, that's fire. That's fire. So I'm swinging for the fences too, y'all. But if I hit, everybody ain't eating.
Do we just
What's up, Maddie? What's going on, Maddie? How you feeling, fam?
Feeling good, man.
Yeah, you
What's
watched
up,
the
brother?
game last night?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I mean, just disappointed, really, and what I expect more out of Porzingis. I expect more out of pretty much everybody last night except for Tatum, and even Tatum himself wasn't perfect. His playmaking was so.
Right. No doubt.
you a Celtics fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
So
You guys will be fine. You guys, the floor is making the finals, so you guys will be great.
Yeah, I know, but I'm spoiled, but I'm still disappointed. So
Until Ron gets back, though, let's do some super chats, y'all. We'll get to this one first.
Okay.
We got one from Justin. Justin says, the Pistons won again. Thompson Twins FC, we up. Those two are special defensive talents and also amazing passers, especially Asor, who I think gets underrated as a passer / playmaker.
Interesting that I was talking to Mars last night during this game that he said that Asor, this is what it is when you're the best perimeter defensive player in the game. And I was like, you know what? There's a guy that looks exactly like him that's in Houston. I don't know if we're confusing the two guys, because it's a dude that play in Houston that you told me was one of the best, if not the best perimeter defender, and he looks exactly like him. So I don't know.
Difference between one of the best and the best. I mean, men might be one of the best wing defenders in the league.
Check this one out.
The best.
Speaking of that, Mars, check this one out right here from Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
You can't watch Asor Thompson and say there's no defense in today's NBA.
That's
Mars Talk Sports. Mars, did you say that?
Yeah. I became active on Twitter, so yeah. I'm an amazing follower. But yeah, that's what I said, because it just bothers me, like when I hear like that no one plays defense in today's NBA, and then I watch like these teams that don't get the national media coverage. Like I watch the Blazers and I watch Tamani Kamara, and I'm like, there's no way you're telling me there's no defense in today's NBA. And I'm watching Tamani Kamara, like one of the best wing defenders on one of the lesser teams in the NBA. I watched Denny Avdija on that same team. And then I watch the Magic, and I see Jonathan Isaac for 12 minutes a game, or I see Jalen Suggs when he's healthy. Even Franz Wagner's a great defender. Then I watch Miami and I watch Bam, and then I go around the whole league and I'm watching guys who are amazing on defense.
LeBron.
And apparently,
keep going, Mars. Keep going, Mars, as you were saying.
and apparently there's just no defense in today's NBA. But then I can watch OKC have 7 legitimately all defensive caliber defenders on the roster at the same time, and it's like, oh yeah, but there's no defense apparently.
Here's the question that needs to be answered, Mars. Where is that coming? Who is that coming from? The majority of the time that you hear that, who is that coming from? Because I can't. There's no way, like people in my era, that they could tell me that guys aren't playing defense when you sit down and you watch Dyson Daniels. That dude plays defense. Don't tell me that these guys aren't playing defense when you watch Evan Mobley. He plays defense. Now, Jalen Duren is not a good defender. He damn sure is trying, though. 100% he's trying. He is definitely trying to play. He's just not very good. But you can't sit there as especially guys that are in my era, guys around my age that tell me, yo, defense is so weak today. No, it's not. No, it is not, because guys aren't getting clotheslined, because guys aren't getting pushed out of bounds, because you can't be as physical with guys does not mean that these guys aren't defending. These guys are 100% playing defense. This kid in Houston, Amen Thompson, is playing defense at a high level, and he's playing defense consistently. These guys are definitely playing defense. 100% they are.
And plus, with that being said, though, I want to make sure I put that on record, because I know a lot of people think that might be something I said. I've come off of that for over a season now. Last year, I was all we had came to terms with the fact that now they definitely, it's a lot of dudes that are playing defense in the NBA. There's a lot of guys that aren't, but we got some real defenders in the NBA. My thing about the physicality, Chill, was something we also talked about before, is that the clotheslining and the pushing guys out of bounds and all the hard fouls in the air. I mean, some hard fouls are necessary, but not, knock people out the air. That's not the defense that I'm talking about, or the physicality I'm talking about. I'm talking about the consistent banging, the checking cutters, the getting up under guys, and things like that. I'm talking about that level of physicality, like real basketball physicality, not the over aggressive, the hitting and take all the hard clotheslines. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the checking cutters and just banging, hitting guys early and stuff like that. That's the physicality I think that the league is missing now.
Right, which you should still be able to do. Like when I shouldn't be able, as a 6'3", 6'4" guard, I shouldn't just be able to walk through the lane. No, I should
not. No, not at all.
That's
what my forearm is for. You
absolutely.
Can't come in here.
It's called touching guys up. That's all. Just letting you know when you come through here, this is what you have to deal with. Now, it doesn't have to be dirty where I'm bowling you in the face or anything like that. But basketball is a contact sport, 100%.
But like how Shaq used to play on the block. It's not dirty. I'm just doing my job. When he come through like this, and he's not swinging his elbows, he's staying square to just coming through, boom, pivoting. Right. Where you get hit that's on you.
That's part of it.
One thing, you're gonna get hit. Where you decide to get hit is up to you. Get your face out the way. Don't put your face in here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm coming through there. You know what I mean? And that's just a part of the game. If you coming through the lane, John D, if you're coming through the lane and I see you coming out my peripherals, I got my guns up. See ball, I see you cut. Bah!
See, like that's not just imagine how bad
you get hit at. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to, I'm not trying to knock nobody's teeth out, but that's how it is in there. It's a jungle in the pen.
And you being from Chicago, John, that there's neighborhoods that you should not be in. There's places, there's parts of town that what, I probably shouldn't be in this area. Well, it's the same. And it's the same thing as when you're playing against big guys, like Ox was talking about. There's places and there's areas where I'm not running through there because I know what it's going to be if I run through there. And it's not that I'm not running through there. I'm just going to be real cautious about how I run through. I'm not running through the lane with Ox in there like, I got my chest poked out. No, because I know that I can get checked. So I'm prepared for that, as opposed to I'm just walking with my head up like, ain't nobody going to do nothing to me when I'm walking through here. That's just not true. No.
Wouldn't you say it's on offense too, though? Like on offense too, if I'm like seeking some guys, I don't think seek the contact when they're going to the lane anymore. Whereas I think a lot of them know, like, I could just get a free throw if I kind of play it up a little bit. I think there's also a level of physicality on the offensive end that guys aren't playing with as often. There's a lot of dudes that are, once again, but a lot of guys, you're supposed to seek that contact instead of just flopping and stuff like that.
I think a part of the reason you don't see that same physicality in the paint, not in the entire reason, but a part of it is just like there's less bodies down there.
Right.
Back in like the early 2000s, the 90s. I mean, if you go watch an Orlando Magic game, I think you'll see like 17 bodies in the paint. But like if you go watch like a team that's well spaced, well organized offensively, just because of what you have to do to defend them. Like if you go watch a Celtics game, it's very rare you see anyone in the paint on offense, unless someone's driving with the ball. It's just very rare. So if you're cutting through the lane, it's just no one can bump you if they're all above the free throw line. It's a different space. It's different spacing. I think congestion doesn't get mistaken for like physicality, but like it's easy to bump someone when you don't have to drop 12 feet to go bump them. When you only have to take a step back or just move a little bit, you can just let them feel you because you defending someone in the post who doesn't have the ball right now. You can do that, but when you playing above the 3-point line is it's kind of hard for you to do that. So I think
it's impossible.
You lose some of that physicality just because you're not as congested and you're not as close to the rim as you used to be, and that comes down to the spacing of offenses and all of those things. So
shout out
some of that.
Shout out Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson covers the Suns. He had a whole complaint on Twitter about like every team playing the same, everybody shooting jump shots.
Oh, when he was yapping? Yeah.
But I literally, like I said, I went to numbers, bro. Like the Celtics are the worst version of what everybody hates, right? Like, 3-point shooting, they shoot too many threes, whatever.
I'd argue the Hornets are the worst version of that. But.
Well, I mean, but I guess some people's mind.
Well, their coach was with the Celtics last year, so that makes
they do it. They do like exactly what people think the whole NBA is: just spam pick and roll, spam threes. Like,
no.
Boston don't use as many pick and rolls and stuff. Yeah, it's different. The Hornets are like, if you watch a Hornets game, that's what people swear the NBA is: just chuck a bunch of threes, run a bunch of pick and rolls,
which is not
don't do anything like that. But the league doesn't do that, and the Hornets suck. But like,
I just want to reiterate. I just want to reiterate that there's defense going on in the NBA. Like I care about the defense. I care about the defensive player of the year. Like to Mars's point, when you talked about nobody's really paying attention to Zion because New Orleans is bad, and nobody's really paying much attention to Herb Jones because Herb Jones is one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, but New Orleans is bad. So nobody's really paying much attention to him.
Quick thing. Go ahead. Quick thing though. We're like literally about to walk into the era of some of the most talented defensive players the league has ever seen. Like, and nobody's talking about it with Wemby, Chet, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson, Kamon Locke about to come into the draft, Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to walk into one of the most
we still got my dog in Washington. Nobody respects.
We still got Jokic top 3 in steals.
Bilal Koulibaly, like, you know what I mean? Jokic is top. It's number 6 in steals, by the way, right now.
I think Alex Sarr is going to be an elite defensive player at some point.
I don't understand the defensive thing. Yes. Like when you have
Keon Ellis.
Yeah, we just have a lot of bigs that can switch out on the perimeter and protect the rim. Like Evan.
But you need the thing is though, John D. To your point, you need those defenders in this league now because offense is so wildly talented now. Like every offensive player is extremely talented. Tyler Hero, you thought, hey, what was old boy from Miami Heat that was giving Jordan buckets all the time? The white man. You know who I'm talking about, chill.
Rex Chapman.
Yep. Imagine Tyler Hero back in the 90s. He would have been bing, splash.
You got a bing.
Mm-hmm. I think that in order to defend even players like that now that aren't even upper tier offensive players, you got to have real defenders on your roster. And I think that's where the league is headed.
Wait. But Tyler Hero is an upper tier. I'm scorer though. He might not
Jokic,
be.
Luka, Trae Young.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like as far as like in the matched up man-to-man defense, he's just as hard of a guard.
I'm not talking about man-to-man defense. I'm talking about offensive player. Period.
Offensive player, but what? Okay. All right.
Well, but you're not generating high level offense at the same level with those other players, though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's cool.
I think Tyler Hero should be all NBA, so you know how I feel about Tyler Hero.
No, I'm with you. I agree with you. So it's no need for a pointless go back and forth.
I'm shaking your head, Mars. You're gonna wake up at some point.
So I'm
even I don't know. So I think that like where the league is headed, I think the Celtics had a nice model for it. I think Cleveland realized that they got to have it. They got 2 of them, and then they added DeAndre Hunter. The Lakers got a bunch of wings on the roster now trying to protect Luka. The Mavericks, I mean, they basically went all in defense and then have one real shot creator. They probably went too far, but I do think that like the league is headed to this place where you got to have like dualism. And I really love this idea because 2 years ago we talked about this, not you all, but the idea that rim protection has to solely be relied on a big, I think has shifted a lot. Like rim protection, I think starts from the top to the sides of the floor and then to the rim. Like I think wings are more important ever for rim protection than they've ever been because you have to be able to deter and reroute on your perimeter to keep them from getting directly into the paint. So you need more elite wing defenders that are able to take on guards and wings and also able to offer, like Mar said, Peyton Watson offered some real weak side rim protection as players that can rotate to the other side of the court as well. Like I'm honestly like really excited for where the league is headed over the next few years. for sure.
Versatility is the name of the game. That's really all it is.
So Amen Thompson is the name of the game. Got you.
Well, I mean, he's all right. But yeah, like that's all it is, versatility. I think the league that people had a problem with, and they just think the league hasn't changed in like 6 years, but like 2019 to like 2021, that era of the NBA where it was a lot of just spread pick and roll, heliocentrism, get up a bunch of threes, whatever the case, and we didn't have the level of versatility we have now. I think a lot of people have just acted like the NBA hasn't changed in the last 4 years. And that's why I don't like the idea of like, we define eras by decades. It's like, oh, you got the 80s and then you got the 90s and then you got the 2000s. The game changes. It doesn't wait until 2030 to change again. Like the game changes whenever.
How much different today, Mars, in 25 is the game than it was in 19?
Substantially different. It's two completely different eras. Like you aren't about to tell me the 2010s is one era and then watch a game from 2012 and then watch a game from 2019 and tell me it's the same game. Like you're not about to do that. Like I don't care. They both occurred in the 2010s. The eras change whenever they decide to change. Like maybe the game will completely shift again next year. Am I going to say the 2020s was one whole era? No, I'm not. Like the game changes whenever it changes. So
I do think that
we have this issue of like I can't say 2019 was a different era.
I think the game's different from 2023. I mean, honestly, like
I agree. I think the game has changed a lot in the last
from 2 years.
Yeah,
think about
just
think about where the Nuggets were 2 years ago and to where they are now. Now, obviously, they lost some players, but like defensively, they've gotten way worse than that iteration.
Wouldn't that be a personnel thing?
No, I think it's personnel, and I think the league is adapted. Like the league has changed. I think the Celtics from last year to this year, the league has changed, and from the Celtics title last year to next year, the league will change, and it will catch up to where the Celtics are. That's just everybody's growing and adapting.
It sounds like something drastic because again, Mars, when I think about what the league was in 2019 as opposed to what the league is today, okay, Joker is not nearly the player that he was in 2019 that he is today. Neither is Jamal Murray. I think that the action that these two guys run off of each other is way different. I think the game, I feel like it's faster than what it was back then. I do think that there's more guys who stretch the defense. But with that being said, I don't know if the game is changing at the rapid pace that you say, Swipe, because like from 23
I can show you right now.
But that's what I'm saying. From 23 to 25, okay, you add in a guy in Russell Westbrook who plays really well off of Joker, which is something that he did with Ibaka, which is something that guards do when they play with really elite big men. Now, Joker, for all intents and purposes, is a different type of big man. He's the type of big man that does everything. So he's going to make a lot of guards look different. But I don't think Russ and him have changed the game to the point where like everybody's playing different. I think
so. Just for context. Just in 2 years, do you know that 2 years ago, the Boston Celtics, 2 years ago, they were shooting 41.8 3-point attempts per game.
I did
just
know that.
2 years ago.
I did know that.
This year they're taking 48, and that might not sound like a lot, but again, if you put in the amount of possessions that are in per game and the attempts going up 7 per game, and then on top of that, the efficiency staying where it is, the reliance on the 3-point shot has shot up dramatically from where it was in 2022-23 to now. Because even for most teams, like basement dwellers, think about this. And this is also something that I think GMs are catching up to. Not to say the GMs are slow, but I think roster construction slower because you can't manufacture a roster in the same speed the game changes. It's just you can't do that. But Calvin Booth said it himself. He said he believes that no team, just because they take more 3-point attempts, should beat Jokic in a series. And he said that. But then we had this very year, remember the Washington Wizards, when Jokic had 56 points. Think about this, Chill. When's the last time you've seen a player score over 50 points on 60% from the field, and it didn't matter? Like, it meant nothing. Because the other side of the ball, they made so many 3-point shots that they offset the value of top-end talent, even as a single-digit team, because they don't have Murray, they don't got Porter.
Yeah, because maybe them niggas should have been playing some defense.
I agree, but I think it's philosophy too. I think yesterday Brooklyn Nets game is another example. The Brooklyn Nets equalized the game with the OKC Thunder through the 3-point shot.
Just ran out of gas at the end. They just ran out of gas.
But they schemed it that way.
And Chet Holmgren decided to be a
he played a great game too. But like I think that's also like how teams are at the floor. How they're at least trying to equalize the talent disparity, because that is what the league is now too. Like, why is it Giannis hasn't been to a title game in 2021? Jokic probably won't go to a title game again in 2025. I think that the game has gone past you just having a top end best player in the world to it's great if you have one, but you have to have that. And you have to have a modern infrastructure with that player in order to get there. And I think OKC's there. I think Boston's there. I think Cleveland's closer than Denver or Milwaukee, even though they don't even have players relatively in the same tier.
But does that change? But did you hear the difference though? Like there's the difference. So I don't want to disagree with you because I do agree with what you're saying. My thing is, you're basically what you're saying is that you can't outscore another team and not play defense, bro. Like these other teams you named, OKC, Boston, they're playing defense. So while the offense might be a little more modern, if you will, they're also playing both sides of the ball. Well, whereas you have a guy in Jokic where he might do all this down there, but they're not stopping it on that end.
Well, no, but I want to be clear. OKC, you bring up OKC. OKC has a historically great defense. Without that, they wouldn't be where they are in any way, shape, or form. If they were just a good defense, they wouldn't be where they are. So I'm saying even them, they're a historical anomaly. I also agree with you, Ox. I think the issue is this is where my perspective has evolved, and where I wish we're talking about the Nuggets would evolve. I think around Jokic, you need to have a primarily elite defensive team. I think you need spacing, but even just from floor managing, I think it's even more important for you to be able to have like a very above average defense around players like that, like Luka with Dallas last year. They basically made it impossible to target Luka. And even if you did, as Ox, as you and I both hated, we're funneling you to an elite rim protector. And they got two of them now.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, isn't it fair that the Nuggets who drafted Christian Brown, like I feel like they were anticipating that he was going to be that. So to your point, when you talk about modernizing your offense, I mean, for the game to change that much, I feel like Denver has done that. I just think that there are other teams who've done it
Gordon
better.
Had a worse defensive year. Porter's had a worse defensive year.
100%.
I think those are things that add into that. Yeah.
Yes, and I don't think that takes away from you guys modernizing what your offense is, because again, Mars and I had this conversation about asking a guy to make threes. Okay, we're gonna scheme to make Gordon make threes. We're gonna scheme to make Christian Brown make threes. Okay, that's modernizing our offense, because if we can't do that, we can't compete. Mars and I had this conversation about the 87 Lakers, as good as they are. They shot 2 threes a game. You're not going to beat anybody shooting 2 threes a game.
The reason I disagree with Mars' assessment on the Nuggets offense, though, the Nuggets have basically inverted the best 2-point shooting offense of the modern era, and they're doing it at a rate that almost nobody else had. I think the Nuggets are a really good 3-point shooting team. My real problem with the team, though, is they do not have the defensive commitment, I think, consistently to be at their ceiling, even as good as they are offensively. And I think that if like,
but does that mean that they're not modern though?
No. I think the modern roster construction, around a player like Joker, has to include at least 2 B+ minimum kind of defenders like they had with Gordon and KCP. I think Christian is about a B. He's obviously not as good off the ball as KCP was. I think that's the difference. I think Aaron Gordon having this calf injury is a huge difference between them being a top 8 defense and between them being 16th or whatever they are right now.
Right.
I think you have to have all of that around players like that. But I think Tatum, which is why Tatum gets so much credit in the circle, well, in NBA circles among GMs and stuff. Tatum, what you're able to do with Tatum is, because he's such a good shooter, a good defender, a good driver, a good, good at the rim, good 3-point shooter, good passer. He's really good at everything. So therefore, I can put whatever I want around him. Whatever I can conceptually think of, I can put around Jayson Tatum. Even though he's not the high-end, top-level talent some other players are, he's close enough that when you put him around Derek White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown, and then Peyton Pritchard, we can go win championships, and maybe a couple of championships, because the floor with Tatum might not. I would say the floor with Tatum is higher than with other players in the league because of what you're able to put around him. Even though I don't think he's not a player I would build around before maybe 3 other players. I think he allows for you to do certain things.
But that shows
that's just because of ceiling, though.
That shows like how different the NBA is, and that goes back to people saying like, "Oh, this is everybody's playing the same brand of offense." I don't think you can win a championship if you don't have a team that can combat different lineups. Like I think roster versatility is one of the biggest things when it comes to winning a championship. Can you put out a lineup that can combat a team like the Denver Nuggets that can put two bigs out there to try and contain Jokic? Can you go small to beat a team like Golden State with their smaller teams? There's a lot of things that you need: the perimeter defense, the shooting, the rebounding, guys that can fit next to each other in lineups. So from roster construction to versatile number ones, it comes down to it being different teams around the league. So it just goes back to it.
That's what made the 2020 Lakers so good. If you remember that Rockets series, they had Dwight, JaVale, and AD, but then you have that Rockets series where they're playing that micro ball. It's like, well, we don't need Dwight and JaVale in this series, so let's just go AD at the 5, go ultra small, match them, and have elite perimeter defense. And then you go up against the Nuggets, and it's like, well, now we need Dwight and JaVale a lot because we have this dominant big who we need to crowd and foul a lot and do all of those things. So, like, being able to change the way you play with your roster is, I think, what's so valuable. And that's why I'm higher on Jayson Tatum now than I was previously, is because I think he's the most versatile player in the NBA. And do I think the ceiling with Jayson Tatum is higher than everyone else in the league? No. But I think you need less perfect pieces around Jayson Tatum to compete than you do against, for example, with a Jokic, where you need the defensive personnel. You need certain things with a guy like Jokic and a guy like Giannis that you wouldn't need with Jayson Tatum, because he can fit into so many things that ultimately you can compete with whatever lineup configuration you have. And I think that helps you in a playoff setting. So
yeah,
I think versatility just means more now than ever.
Would you say, Mars, that, and I think the best way to describe that, your floor, as opposed to like Jokic and Giannis, your floor and ceiling, I think your floor is lower with Tatum. I think your ceiling is lower with Tatum. But I think the thing is, though, like Tatum, because of the way he's built, the stabilization point for Tatum is much different than both of those players. Like, meaning, I think that in order
the
to
mean,
be good,
mean is higher.
Yeah, like, so, like, what basically, like, the floor, like, I can, Jokic 50-win team, basically, Giannis, when he's healthy, 50-win team. The floor is like elite level, all-time great playoff runs, NBA Finals appearances. Tatum might not be that, but Tatum's like, when you put him in a structure around really good players, it's like, well, this is not hurting us. Like, there's nothing that we don't have that's going to significantly hurt us. We just might be able to beat the top end talent, like the Warriors in 2022 or something.
I feel like that's with anybody. I mean, if you take Jimmy Butler and put him around a bunch of really good players, freaking, you'll see a drastic difference in what your crew looks like, because he'll elevate them and they'll elevate him. But if you put him around a bunch of C and D guys, well, he's gonna be a B, maybe even he's gonna be a B at some point, an A at a stretch, but for the most part, he's not gonna be elite for the most part. Now, when I think about what the game is, how much the game has changed today, when you have elite guys, I think that gone are the days of the super teams. I'm gonna say that off the strength that when you're talking about 1, 2, 3, like 4 all NBA level players that you didn't draft, that you're getting in free agency, I think those days are gone. In terms of play style, I think everybody is playing the same because we live in a copycat league. But I also think the separator with that is, I think that teams, like to Mars's point, I think teams like the Boston Celtics, teams like the Cavs, where they defend the long ball line, we know that we have to do this in order for us to be successful, because we can't just go band for band with teams. Even though we can shoot the basketball at a high level, even though we can run up the score, we do have to slow people down. So in order for us to do that, we need the personnel to guard at the long ball line. We need the personnel because a lot of teams, when they crack the long ball, they're playing fast. We need the personnel to guard in transition. We need the personnel to guard around screens, to be able to navigate screens and such. So I think the game has changed to some aspect. I'm just not sure that it's changing as rapidly.
Chill, do you think that this Boston Celtics team, these 2 years, are they better than those that 2010 Lakers team that didn't have like high-end, top-end superstar talent?
From a personnel standpoint, I think that they're better. From a personnel standpoint, I do think that they're better. But you know, Swiper, you know how I feel about when you get into a championship series, my best player is better than your best player. And when I think about Bryant and Jayson Tatum, I think there's a separation between those two guys. When I think about Jaylen Brown and I think about Pau Gasol, I think there's a separation between those two guys.
But you also have adjusted on that too, because I think even if like Denver saw the Celtics in the finals, you think Jokic is better than Tatum, but you think that the deficiencies for Denver would just be so glaring that you would just take the Celtics anyway.
The reason why is because if my best player is better than your best player, but my second best player, if there's and my third best player, if there's
Jaylen Brown this year.
Yeah, but I feel like what the Celtics have done with I feel like the Celtics what they've done with Derek White, and I'm not gonna argue Drew Holiday because I don't think Drew Holiday shot the ball well at all.
He had a good year.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't think he shot the ball well. But I feel like as a collective, I think that KP has been a lot better this year because he's been healthy. I feel like Derek White. I mean, they played a couple of nights ago. He had a quiet 19-9. Like nobody even said anything about it. Like that's what's going on with this Boston Celtic team. So I still stand on, you know, my best player being better than your best player if you can keep us in it. And I feel like with Denver, I don't think that would be the case because I don't think that would be enough to keep them in it. Because I think Boston is just so much better as a collective.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. That's what I think the error is now. I really don't truly know how much like top end superstar talent. It's not that it doesn't matter. Of course it matters, but I'm saying I think because of the CBA and the way rosters are constructed, and because of how offenses have been modernized, I think it matters a little less than it has in previous iterations. But maybe y'all disagree with that. Y'all,
this dude in the chat, Smoke Rich Big, said 19 is nothing to go crazy about. From your fourth guy? Are you kidding me? Your fourth guy goes for 19-9? Like we ain't tripping on that? What? That's almost 20-10 for my fourth guy. Hell yeah, that's a big deal.
I mean,
if we're being real, Jaylen Brown
Smoke will be praising Austin Reeves for 20-6. So I mean,
I know we gotta get the super chats. I apologize. I'm sorry because
it's only 12:30. We got plenty of time. We got an hour and a half of show left.
But yeah, I am in the agreement that I've never really liked this guy can't be the best player on the championship team. Like as far as I'm concerned, if you build the team right, then not anyone, but a lot of people can be the best player on the championship team. I think the Cavs this year can win a championship, and whoever, Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, I don't know, whoever their best player is, am I going to be like, well, look, he was the best player on the championship team? Like, it just doesn't mean that much to me. I think we're past the days where it's like, oh, well, we have the best player in the world. We have a chance of winning the championship. Like, nah, I just think if your roster's flawed, your roster's flawed.
That sucks, though. Don't it suck that happened now in this era for the first time?
For you, yeah.
Jordan was winning. You wasn't beating Jordan. You wasn't going to beat Magic. You wasn't beating Bird.
I think back then you
wasn't beating Shaq.
Back then I think you needed that guy more than you.
Only reason you beat Bron because you got KD. Bron didn't have Kyrie or Love.
They didn't have a high-end player.
Who?
The Sonics in '79. They had Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams.
Yeah, I mean,
and Jack Sigma.
They did.
Yes,
they did. 100%. Gus
Williams. That's also outlier. I mean,
Gus Williams.
That late 70s was just kind of questionable anyway in terms of the champions. So, I mean, yeah, but like
Jack Sigma
generally speaking, back in the day, I do.
I get them.
And I think that's why people still hold that belief now. It's like you grew up and it was teams were winning pretty much because of Michael Jordan. Now, obviously, you have Scottie Pippen, you have Horace Grant, you have the triangle, and then you get Dennis Rodman. Like, it's not just because of him, but like it was like the difference between these two teams was that we had Michael Jordan and you don't, haha. And then it was we have Shaq and Kobe, you don't, haha. And then it was we have Tim Duncan, you don't, haha. And then it's we have KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, and you don't. And then it's we have LeBron James and we have Steph Curry and KD. Whereas it's like so throughout all of NBA history, it was like we have these players, you don't have them. We have a better chance than you. And now we're watching it unfold where
Jokic, I'm about to watch Cade Cunningham win a championship.
They're the best players in the world. They're the best players in the world, but they're not really in the circle of championship contention.
Giannis literally might,
and it's not because
Giannis legit might not make it out in the first round for a third straight year.
Well, he's been hurt, to be fair.
I'm saying this year, that's whatever. You say whatever you want. Giannis might lose to the Pacers this year again.
Third straight year, boys. We can't keep saying that, man. I mean,
what's that got? But I'm saying, but this is what we're talking about.
I do understand. I do understand that the health is an issue, Mars. I 100% get that, and I do care about him being healthy. And he played at an MVP level.
If I have to, listen. Let me say this is what's going to happen with you. This is what happens. Let's say Tatum win a championship again this year, right? That's two back to back, and that's three runs in 4 years, 2 championships, 6 first-team All NBAs,
5.
4. Just add the one next year because he's going to play next year. Just add 2 more. He's going to get 2 more, right? Let's just say this 4 straight first-team All NBAs. Just one.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how nasty it's going to get if Giannis gets out again in the first round versus the Pacers? And then people are like, well, Tatum has 2 championships, 4 first-team All NBAs. He's the first. I know, but like everybody, that's what I'm saying. People are going to be like, well, how is he not better? I'm like,
Yes.
I think that's a detriment to where the league is at, that your best player can't get to the finals because he can't put a team around him.
Yes.
Like you literally can't.
I've
They're
already
in
seen
the
those
scrap
conversations
yards.
reserved. I've seen them reserved.
But they're in the scrap yards looking for freaking what's the boy that they signed? DeLon Wright and what's the name from the Raptors?
Trent.
Gary Trent Jr. They're like, oh, we got these guys. We're shoring up our roster.
Well,
They're
again,
not bums, but they ain't high end level role players.
I'm not. But all I'm saying is that I'm not ridiculous enough to think that just because you win the NBA, I'm not one of those dudes. I have winning high on my list, but it's not the end all be all. And don't get me wrong, I just think that it does check a box that okay, I did do this, so you do have to start talking about me differently. 100% you do. But
chill. If Giannis goes out in the first round to the Pacers this year, that paperwork is out. Them indictments are out. I don't care how y'all feel. Over the league against the league that this
judge just signed them
winning bias and all this and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that. If Jayson Tatum wins a championship this year and Giannis goes out in the first round, that paperwork is going out.
If he has an elite series and like he does what he needs to do to win, we're not going to tax Giannis for getting bounced in the first round.
If you do what you need to win, then win.
You're not going to tax Giannis for that.
If he plays at an elite level and he loses and like it's a 7-game series, like I'm not going to tax.
Are we really having Jayson Tatum over Giannis conversations down here?
No, I've seen them start. I've seen them
3 months, Mars. Give me 3-4 months. Hell yeah,
I've seen them start. I've seen people say if Jayson Tatum goes on a run this postseason, you can say he's better than Giannis. I've seen it already go down.
But no, that's not it though, John D. That's not it. John D. That's not it. If Giannis go out in the first round, we're talking about an extreme hypothetical right now that I think Mars.
Actually, are we?
I'm saying ain't that extreme.
But wait, I mean, it should be. Hell yeah, it should be. Giannis go out in the first round against the Pistons. That should be hypothetical. But let's say it happens, and let's say that Jayson Tatum wins Finals MVP, wins the championship. Giannis goes out in the first round. Not only is that paperwork going out, but it's right. It's right. It should go out.
Who's better at basketball?
Genesis is
we don't have to. There we go. No, because it's not that easy. No, it's not that easy. See, y'all do this. Do that, but you can't do it because I'm gonna tell you why. When you got guys that are on the same tier, that are at the same level, that are both very good basketball players.
On the same tier.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm assuming. You don't have to assume it with me. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
Right.
And if you believe they're on the same tier, then yeah, that's on you.
I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. When you got guys that are close enough, and dudes knocking out championships, and dudes keep going out in the first round. But I got to show respect. Mars, that's how.
So if Jokic loses again, you having the same talks?
Okay, I mean, y'all know how I feel about Jokic already. Jokic already on.
Yeah, because you think Giannis is the best in the world. So I just want to
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Jokic, look, I had trouble putting Jokic ahead of AD and Jayson Tatum.
Okay, so
if the
you got
off, it's gonna be
when we talk about being the best player in the world, winning matters. It's not just about you being better at basketball than this guy. That's not just it.
Y'all call it winning bias. Y'all call it basketball.
Imagine saying in a conversation about being the best isn't all that matters.
No. That's not it, Mars. No, Mars, that's not it.
The best wins.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's not the way that works.
John D, the best wins.
It should work.
No,
if we're saying who's the best, the only thing that should matter is who's the best.
Conversation, man, because these guys
like when you watch both these guys play.
But he outplayed him. He's not. Tony Phillips ain't better than that, but he outplayed him. And because he outplayed him and they won, that matters.
Wait, are we talking Chauncey and Kobe? Are we talking Chauncey and Kobe?
And who was better?
Who's on the other side of the Chauncey argument?
And when you're talking about players who are in similar tiers, I'm not saying that Jayson Tatum is on the tier of Giannis. I don't think so. I don't think so. However, to watch Jayson Tatum, if he ends up in a series against Giannis, again, outplaying him again.
When did
again
ever outplay Giannis?
Again, he's
time.
never done it before.
So he did not play him in 22.
No, he did not.
He did not outplay him in 22.
won this
35,
series.
12, and 6 by himself with Drew
Boston
Holiday.
won the series.
No, he
You
did
are
not.
not about to
By
try and
himself.
tell
You
me.
can't say by yourself.
You are
Drew
not
Holiday.
about. You are not about.
Drew Holiday shot 38% from the field in
Drew
that
Holiday
series.
was
Yeah.
Played
He was
later
awful.
than
So you
Giannis
play
in
bad
that
because
series.
that
He was
38
awful.
Y'all are sick.
Y'all making me sweat, man.
You
He
think
does
Jayson
so
Tatum
much.
played better than
See,
Giannis in
the
that
problem
series?
is Drew Holiday don't got
I
to
think that
stand on true shooting. Drew Holiday don't got to stand on field goal percentage.
Yeah, he
Drew
does.
Holiday does so much more. No, he doesn't.
He didn't make his
unlike-
shot, so they
unlike-
lost.
Yeah, but Swiper.
That's
What
not
I'm
the
saying-
only
what I'm-
reason
what I'm-
they
what I'm
lost,
saying is Drew Holiday don't got to stand on that like Jokic got to stand on that.
What are you
Drew
yapping
Holiday
about,
does
Ox? He was the
other-
second
I'm not
option.
yapping-
Who took
I'm
the
not
second
yapping
most
funny.
shots?
He's
I'm
just
talking
saying
No,
funny.
I know that
Funny.
Drew Holiday's
Drew
all
Holiday's
around
value
player,
comes
but
the
that's
way
all
he
part of
is.
why they
That's what
lost.
I'm saying.
I'm just better at
But what I'm
basketball than
saying,
you.
what I'm saying, Swiper, is
Basketball is
when
a
you
fucking
do
one-on-one.
other things on the basketball court,
No,
you
we're talking
can't
about
just
the best
come out and
players.
say,
Yes, it's individual.
Swiper, you can't just come out and say,
Individual,
oh,
yes.
he shot this for this.
I know
Like,
that,
that's
Ox.
all that's-
Who's doing that? I'm talking about in
You're
that
talking about
series.
best players.
If Drew
Who's
Holiday
doing
would have
that?
shot a little better, they would have won Game 7. He was thinking the entire game.
Are we now taking winning away? So now what we're gonna do?
Yes.
No, hold on, chill.
Yes,
Hold on,
yes,
chill,
yes,
chill, you might-
yes,
chill,
yes,
chill,
yes,
hold on,
yes,
chill,
yes,
chill,
yes,
chill.
I don't give a
Yes,
shit.
we're gonna take winning out. We're gonna turn this into what they do in Major League Baseball. Whoever is just better at basketball.
Shohei Ohtani's better than everybody. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so if we're taking basketball, you being a Boston Celtics fan, I don't want to hear a motherfucking word out of you if Jayson Tatum wins the league MVP. I don't want to hear a word out of you if Jayson Tatum ends up winning the NBA championship again. I don't ever want to hear another word out of you about him being
No.
good. And I don't want to hear another word out of you.
I'm
I'm not
telling
done.
you.
I don't want to hear another word out of you about him being
I'm
wherever
with
he
you.
is because of winning. I don't want to hear a word out of you
with
about
you.
that.
Okay.
I'm with you. I agree. No,
Okay.
no, you can check my receipts on my TikTok yesterday after Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I said if they were to lose, or no, wait, time out. I said if the series were to end right now, Luka Doncic is the Finals MVP. That's how far I was going with it. After the Celtics were up 2-0, and Jayson Tatum was playing.
Oh, you
all
one
right.
of them. Okay, you one of them. Okay.
Yes, I don't give a shit about winning. How good are you at basketball?
Wait,
You
chill,
don't
hold on,
give a
chill.
shit
Wait, John D, hold on, John D. Wait a minute.
It doesn't matter.
Let me make sure my mic. Hold on, Mark. Let me make sure my
happening to
mic
the
is all the
world?
way on.
What
Hold,
is
chill.
wrong
Answer
with
this
them?
question. I just wanted to know
What happened to the
who was the juxtaposition with Chauncey Billups? Who was on the other side of the equation when you were doing the comparison?
Apparently.
Wait. So was Chauncey better? No, nobody else talk. Ox, don't help him.
No, he wasn't. No, Chauncey Billups is not better than Kobe Bryant.
But I'm saying he beat him 4-1 and outplayed him in the series.
He did outplay him. Yes, he did. But he's not on the
beat that ass.
He's not on the same tier with Kobe Bryant.
But why? He finished. I think he finished top 6 in MVP voting that year. He finished top 6 in MVP voting that year.
The point that I'm making is when guys are on a similar tier than other guys. Kobe Bryant and Chauncey Billups in 2004. What was it? 2004. Kobe Bryant and Chauncey Billups were not on the same team.
Okay. Oh, chill. But you hold on, chill. But you did say, I just heard you because you started smiling because when you start talking about JT, you get happy. Okay, we moved off of Giannis and we moved the Joker. So if Joker loses in the second round this year, right? Plays another amazing series.
I don't
okay. No. You got to answer this. Don't you do that nonsense.
100%.
You got to answer.
100%.
If Jayson Tatum was Finals MVP for you, do you think that Tatum will be in best in the world conversation over Joker for you at that point?
I don't think he's going to be over Joker because I don't think he's better, but I do think that we got to talk about him different because when I think about what Joker has done over the last 3 years, remember, since 2021, if he ends up losing, this will be the second time. Let's see. He lost in the second round last year. They won the NBA championship. The year before that, he lost in the first round, and then he lost in the second round. And he lost in the second round.
Please have context.
Right. I'm okay. So
I'm talking to you. I'm just talking. No, I got
Sure. I'll add. We already know what it is, right? We know in terms of the context. We know what it is.
Did Tatum lose in the first round? In 2021.
Yes,
It was 2021.
Yeah, because of the injury.
That was the
Yeah, after the ball. Yeah.
Yes, he lost. He
But he had
lost.
a 50 ball. He had a 50 ball.
to extend it to 5 games because they was about to get swept.
James
That was
Harden
about to-
dominated
Hey,
that series.
Chris Paul hits a
take,
dagger 3 to bring him within 43. Go ahead. My bad. Go
but
ahead, Joe.
Swiper, y'all are trying to take winning out of.
I'm not taking anything.
That's Matthew.
Yeah,
he
said that, but he said that y'all went crazy with
matters
him, like,
to me.
yeah, woo, yeah.
Winning
I've
always cared about winning and what
I
you
heard all
do in the
three of y'all.
postseason matters.
We're
We're talking about
I didn't
best
say
player
anything.
in the world. That matters when
My-
we're talking about
my-
best
my
player in the
issue-
world. What you do in the
It
postseason?
doesn't matter.
When it comes down to the
Yes,
accolades,
it does.
I don't.
when it comes down to the accolades at the Finals MVP, I think
Hate this shit.
it's very unlikely that I think a player on the losing team should win Finals MVP. Do I think it's possible? Maybe, but I think it's very unlikely. It wouldn't have been Luka Doncic.
I think LeBron should have won it in 2014.
I wouldn't have had Luka Doncic as the Finals MVP last year.
You mean in 15?
Yeah, 2014.
2015,
I think-
LeBron was shooting like what 30% from the mid range.
30.
He was
I'm talking about LeBron James shooting 30% from the mid range. That's why they lost the series. I'm on crack. Am I losing my mind?
They lost.
I was just pointing it out. I didn't say that's why they lost.
Nobody said that.
I didn't say that's why he lost.
Why did you bring it up then? Why did you bring that up then? Why is that important?
Because that was one of the big reasons why 2015 was generally underwhelming for LeBron in the playoffs.
But so with that also being said, one of the main reasons why they were in the series because he averaged 39 a game. How about that? Why you don't bring that up?
Okay, we're
Because he's able to get to the rim.
He shot 39% from the field.
Yeah, and he 48% true shooting.
Let's get back on track. I'm sorry. Let's get back on
track. My issue is not everyone knows how I feel about accolade. I don't care about who wins the accolade. Let the accolades go to the winners. Let the Finals MVP go to the guy who wins the series. Let the Conference Finals MVP go to the guy who wins the series. Cool. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't care because I don't use the accolades when I'm analyzing players and how good they are. Where I'm having trouble is you implying that Jayson Tatum outplayed Giannis in 2022 is disgusting. But B,
I don't think.
No, take it back. Don't take it back.
No,
I'm looking it up right now.
I asked, did he outplay him?
No, I'm looking it up right now. Jason.
All I'm saying.
No. What you said is
you're walking it back.
This is what you said because I was listening. You said if we go into the playoffs and Jayson Tatum outplays Giannis in a series again.
You did say that.
Implying that happens before. When it has, that was why we decided. But
did he keep winning though, Mars? Was it a good series? Did
Keep going,
Jayson Tatum played well in that series, and in that game,
27, 6, and 5.
In that game 6 in particular, it was amazing.
44 and 40, 44 or 46.
That was amazing. But my issue is
that's an elimination game, by the way. They lose, they're out.
Giannis had 40, 20, and 6 that game, by the way. 44, 20.
If we're having a discussion
Sure.
about who the best player in the world is,
Yep.
the only thing that matters should be who's the best at basketball in the world. That's it. Nothing else should matter. If we're having a discussion about the MVP, I'm fine. Bring up the wins, bring up the impact metric, whatever. Cool. I understand that. If we're having a discussion about defensive player of the year, bring up who's the most valuable defender, what they're doing. I get it. Cool. If we're having a discussion about finals MVP, sure, winning matters. Cool. I'm fine with that. I don't care because I don't use the accolades anyway. But if we're simply discussing who is the best basketball player in the world, why am I bringing up anything?
How do we find that?
Impact on winning is involved in that.
We just went on a whole rant about context of teams, though.
If we're having a discussion about the best player in the world, the only thing in my mind, the only thing that should come up is who's the best basketball player in the world. Everything else doesn't mean anything. Whether or not your team won or lost doesn't mean anything to me because the outcome of games is not determined just by your contributions.
There's the 4 other guys on your team, the 5 guys on the other team, your coach and the other team.
And to Max in the chat, I never said just skills because I care about impact on the game. I can just understand someone could be more impactful and still ultimately lose the game. LeBron James, in my opinion, in 2015 was the most impactful player in the series. He lost.
Yes.
You could argue in 2018, LeBron James was the best player in the series. He lost.
Yes.
You could argue in 2019, Steph Curry was the best player in the series. He lost. Like, being the best player and performing the best does not mean you are going to win because there are more things at play than just your contributions. So if I'm looking at you as an individual, who the best player in the world is, all I'm looking at are your contributions to the goal at hand, which is to win. I value impact on winning. I say that all the time. I value who the best is by impact.
Sure.
But impact on winning does not ultimately mean who wins the most, because winning the most goes to more than just my contributions. If I'm looking at who the best player is, who do I think is impacting their team the most? Who is the most valuable to their team's success? Who is giving their team the best chance of success just with their contributions? Is Jayson Tatum the best player in the world because I think he has a roster of players who all contribute to that goal at an extremely high level in a way that I don't think the Bucks do, in a way that I don't think the Nuggets do? Is Donovan Mitchell in the top 5 player in the world conversations because I think he has a team that contributes to the goal of winning at a higher level than a guy like the Jokic does and a guy like Giannis does? No, I think teams get you to the goal of winning. Teams do that. The Celtics do that. The Thunder do that. The Cavs do that. The team does that. The best player on those teams is still the best player. That's cool. But that doesn't mean they are more impactful than a player who's on a worse team.
It is a case-by-case basis, though, Morris.
That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the individual. It's not always the case that a guy on a bad team isn't the best player in the world, because when LeBron was on the Miami Heat and he had the best team, he was also the best player in the world. So, like, you can be the best player in the world and on the best team.
It can
You
coexist.
can be the best player in the world and not be on the best team.
Right.
I just don't look at it based on the outcome of the games. That's all I'm saying. I'm just looking at it in terms of watching the individual. When talking about the best player in the world, I'm watching the individual and how they impact the game. You can be the best player in the world. At the end of the day, if I'm on your team, you ain't gonna win anything. Does that make you worse? No. That's just unlucky. You got bums. So that's my
John.
And there are differences. It's case by case.
Always case by case. It's never just in a vacuum. This is this. Like
we can go back in history and look at a lot of players who were the best in the game and weren't on the best team. Kobe in his run with the Lakers, they weren't the best team in the league, and you could argue Kobe was the best player in the league. There's been a lot of instances where LeBron's been the best player in the world, but he was not on the best team. I think a lot of people give way too much credit for team success to the best player. Now, he does have a lot of impact on being the best team in the league if you are the best player in the world, but a lot of things go from coaching to front offices. A lot of players say there's a lot of luck going into winning a championship, whether you get the right matchups or where there's some injury luck. They're hitting on your draft picks. You could be go and sign a guy for $50 million and he doesn't show up. That's out of your hands. So once again, I do think winning plays a part in seeing who the best player in the world is, but I do think it gets like over pushed just a little bit too much to where I think Jayson Tatum is a tier below Jokic and Giannis. If he wins this year, he's not going to be pushed up into that tier for me. Like, I can't do it.
Because I can guarantee you that if Jayson Tatum plays 4 series this year and it's similar at all to last year's playoffs for Tatum, and Giannis gets bounced in the first round, that Giannis series where he gets bounced is going to be better than all 4 Tatum series.
Do you care about what Jayson Tatum did? So you think Jayson Tatum, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being elite, 1 being garbage, what do you think Jayson Tatum was last year in the playoffs?
It was like an 8, a 9.
Okay, so that's elite. That's elite.
Really good. Really
good. Yeah. He was. No, I'm not saying that the dude's
he's one of the 10 best players on the planet. I'd hope.
Right. So if he were to duplicate something like that or be even better than what he was last year in the playoffs and enhance his crew, and they win, and it has largely to do with him, which is what I like to think that a lot of these players, when I see these players, when you're talking about the better players in the game, a lot of the reason why they win has to do with those guys when they win.
A lot, yeah, but not 100%, right?
No, I didn't say 100%, but what
I'm making sure we're on the same page.
We're definitely on the same page. It's not 100. I don't think that there's any guy who 100% the reason why we win. And I'm not just talking about a series. I'm talking about going deep in the playoffs. Because when you brought up Mars, when you brought up James in 18, like they lost, but he was the best player. I mean, they lost to Golden State where? In the finals. In 15, when he lost to Golden State, he lost in the finals. So we're going pretty far. Now James, I feel like is an outlier, but what I want to get back to what we were talking about. If Jayson Tatum this postseason plays similar or even better to what he played last season, and they end up going deep into the playoffs and winning the NBA championship again, and he contributed that much more to this crew, why can't I talk about him being in that upper echelon of player off the strength that I feel like winning matters? When I talk about being the best basketball player in the world, all right, I can appreciate you being better at basketball than this person. I can 100% appreciate that. However, I care about winning and how you win, when you win, who you win against, how much you contributed to that. Because we do the same thing when these guys lose. When these guys lose and these teams fall apart, and it's because of this guy, we have to do the same thing.
Do you think that's why Giannis and Jokic should lose series though? Like, would it primarily be because of them, even though we talked about their roster constructions not being adequate?
Do I think that Giannis,
like, do you think if Giannis, like Patriots, for instance, and they like Giannis averages 32, 12, and 7 again, right? And Damian Lillard, 22, whatever, but they just cannot stop anybody on the perimeter or something like that. Tyrese Halliburton's going off, Neesmith going off, Pascal's having a good series, Benny's having a good series.
Then what's Giannis doing on defense if everyone's having a great series?
Well, Giannis isn't an all-ball defender. That's what we've always said. Like,
but if everyone's having a great series, he's got to be guarding someone, right?
I know, but I'm saying, let's say they're shooting really well from 3, right? It's a 3-point variance that's getting them. They're not even getting to the rim. Brook Lopez is getting played off the court by Tyrese Halliburton, which likely would happen, right?
Oh, absolutely will happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's pretend this. Like, would we say that is that mostly going to be on Giannis for not being able to get that done, or would that just be like the personnel is just not where it needs to be?
Well, again, it's definitely a case-by-case basis, but I've seen players who have been able to win playoff series off the strength of how good they are. We've seen guys throw teams on their back
like dirt.
When did Tatum throw the Celtics on his back?
Yeah, but then you're asking like,
playoff series.
Can I give an analogy? And I just want to know if people understand what I'm saying. Imagine we have 2 rowers, right?
Yeah, I don't understand the analogy.
Ah, damn. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try. We have 2 rowers. One rower.
I think I know where you're going with this.
One rower is just in a regular rowboat. It's a fine boat. It's just fine. He's gonna. There's a race to the finish line. He's in a fine rowboat.
Mm-hmm.
The other rower is a more skilled rower. He's better.
Yep.
But his boat has 4 holes in it. Are we then going to say the other guy's a better rower because his boat is in good condition? Because he's able to actually get to the finish line? Or are we going to acknowledge that the other guy, although he probably is a better rower, is just dealing with equipment around him that is making it harder for him to succeed within his job?
Fair enough.
The Bucks are a flawed roster. The Bucks are a flawed roster. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
So if the Bucks, this all goes out the window if Giannis has a horrible series, his jump shot regresses back to the mean, and teams are able to scheme against him with his free throw shit, cool. But if we acknowledge that one team has an extremely flawed roster and one team doesn't, the outcome of that team that doesn't have the flawed roster being more successful is not a testament to the rower being a better rower than the guy who's dealing with a bad boat.
100%.
You can still credit. You can still credit.
That analogy is so dramatic.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a direct correlation to the Bucks. I'm saying
it is actually.
But I'm saying in general, like we have to acknowledge we can give the rower credit.
So when I'm giving directions,
we can give the rower credit. We can give the rower credit for getting to the finish line. Because at the end of the day, you still have to row that boat. You still have to do your job. But we can also, in that same breath, acknowledge that this guy isn't able to have that same outcome because of what's around him. And I say all of that to ask a question. If Jayson Tatum plays like he did in last year's postseason and they win, that's great. Jayson Tatum's a champion, whatever. Or Jayson Tatum plays at an amazing level. He's the best playoff run of his life. Like, the mid-range is going down, the 3 is going down. He's been amazing
2022 until the NBA finals.
All of that. And they lose. In which playoff run did Jayson Tatum play better? Which one is a better indication for Jayson Tatum, the individual? The one in which he plays amazing and they win, and then plays amazing and they lose, or the one in which he doesn't play as great, but they're still able to win? Which one is a better testament to Jayson Tatum, the individual? Not the Celtics, to Jayson Tatum. Which one is better for him?
Well, number one, we're talking about being great. Consistency matters. So when you get deep into the playoffs, if you start playing great and then we get late into the playoffs and you go to pieces, I mean, you aren't as consistent as we would have liked for you to be. So that matters. But I want to go back to your boat analogy. So Mars, if we're rowing and I got holes in my boat, it depends on how big the holes are, but I do have holes.
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 Maybe both.
Yeah, because
I just didn't hear it.
Okay, so if I got holes in my boat, with me having holes in my boat, I'm still able to be in this race. In fact, I've actually beaten some people who have better boats and better equipment, and I've even moved ahead of guys. No, I didn't ultimately win the race. In fact, I probably came in third, but I still was able to compete to the point where I had some things go my way, and then your equipment went bad. And with your equipment going bad, I was able to pass you, and you were able to win on some. I was able to beat some guys on some level. If you're what the point I'm making is with your equipment being as bad as my equipment being as bad, and I'm still able to compete and even on some level win, that has to count for something. I can't just say you're in the boat, you have flawed equipment, your equipment isn't good enough, but you're awesome at rowing. So I got to put you at the top of the list with these other guys, as opposed to you got bad equipment. These guys have great equipment, but you're competing with these guys. And on top of you competing, you're actually beating some of these guys who have less than equipment. The point with Jayson Tatum is if Jayson Tatum, who gets to the NBA championship or he gets to the Eastern Conference championship and he fizzles, well, again, consistency matters. And I care about how good you are for a stretch. I don't care about you giving me 30 and 10 in 2 games, and then I don't see you again for 4 or 5 games. That doesn't work. No, I care about you being consistent throughout.
The chat's saying you didn't answer the question directly, so I'm assuming you didn't answer the question directly to Mars.
I'm trying to figure out what didn't I answer? What didn't I answer? You're asking, Mars is asking me where would I put Jayson Tatum? Well, if he was consistent and then he ended up at the
if he did what he did last year. If he did what he did last year.
Right. If he did what he did last year and they lose.
No, win. They win and he does what he did last year.
I mean, I still have to talk about him the way I'm talking about him. I think that he's a great player. 100%.
Well, I'm saying, but is he a Jokic, Giannis? We put him on that level.
You should have no problem putting Tatum over Giannis by this logic, like if this were to happen. And it's not like they're on the same tier. It's like Tatum should be comfortably better if we're using the winning.
I care about winning. I do. I don't think
that's fine. That's fine. I don't Tatum will be on a different tier.
I don't think Jayson Tatum is a better basketball player than Giannis. No, I don't.
But you can't think that Giannis is a better basketball player and then rank Tatum ahead of him because of a ring. You have to be both.
No, hold on.
Chill. Hold on. No. Let me chill. Hold on, chill. There's no means to crash out. There's no means to crash out. Hold on.
I press me with stuff.
Well, hold on. I know, but hold on, Mars. Time out. Chill. Time out.
Man, y'all do chill. Hold on. Winning.
Chill. Time out. Yeah, we care about winning too much. No, but hold on. PC. Time out. Chill. This what doesn't make any sense. There's no way for you that you can think that Giannis is a better basketball player than Jayson Tatum. And then because Jayson Tatum goes on a playoff run with a better constructed roster and wins a championship, that you can also then at the same breath say that Tatum is ranked ahead of Giannis as a player, because you wouldn't have done that with Shaq beat Jordan in a series in 1995.
That's not
it is because one of them went to the NBA Finals and played against the other, and the other person lost to that same person.
Doesn't have the resume in 1995 that Jordan.
Tatum doesn't have Giannis's resume either. If we're doing that,
you said Jordan was the best player in the world in 1988. So like he
didn't win a ring before.
You've done this before with players who haven't won. But this is my issue, and this is where it comes down to like, are we talking about basketball or are we talking about narratives and other stuff? If you think Giannis is better than Jayson Tatum,
I do think he's a better player than Jayson.
But if Jayson Tatum wins, you're willing to put Jayson Tatum above Giannis.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You said you'd be willing to have the conversation.
I do want to talk about it because winning matters.
But listen to this is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're still willing to have the conversation, but you're going to think Giannis is better. But listen, this is how the conversation will go.
I'm listening.
I'm going to think Giannis is better. I'm going to make the argument. Giannis is better because of his overall impact, his dominant as a driver, the defensive impact, he's able to make plays on that side of the ball that not many people can, the playmaking, the gravity, all of that. I'm going to say all of those things. And what's going to happen? You're going to agree with me because you think Giannis is better. And then you're going to be like, but the Celtics won. So it's like, I'm going to give out every single reason why Giannis is better, in my opinion. You're going to agree with it because you think Giannis is the better basketball player. And then say, well, what we need to have the conversation because Jayson Tatum won. And it's like, okay, so go ahead and make the argument for Jayson Tatum. And then you're going to be unable to do it because you think Giannis is better than him. That's where I'm having the conflict.
No. Well, I am going to be able to do it because, again, when we're talking about winning and what I did in the postseason, again, it's not just as simple as just being a better basketball player. No, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, then we got to take winning off the table. And who is that? Whoever is just better at basketball, that's just no. I'm not down to do that. No, I'm not down. Matter of fact, I'm not down to do that. That shit drives me crazy.
You don't have to.
I'm not doing that.
Chill.
I'm not
Imagine we're in July. It is July right now.
That shit is not funny, B. Because imagine
we are in July.
That shit is
I'm
not
not taking anything away. I'm just looking at how well do you impact.
It is July. I'm gonna ask this question and then we're gonna move on because we've got Superchat. It is July 2025. The Celtics win a championship. The Bucks go out in round 2. They go out in round 2. They lose to I think they played the Celtics in round. No, they played the Cavs. They lose to the Cavs in round 2. Mm-hmm. The Celtics win the chip. I'm here saying, Ron asked the question: who are the 3 best players? Who are the 2 best players in the world? And I think it's Jokic and Giannis. How do you answer that question?
I answer the question like you just said. I do think that Jayson Tatum moves up the list off the strength that they want.
Move up to where?
I don't think he's ahead of Giannis. But it's going to be different because when it matters, it 100% is going to matter. The fact that he won, and the fact that Jayson Tatum played better in the postseason than he did last year, and they won for the 2nd straight year, which is what I care about when we're talking about the postseason. Even though Giannis is better at basketball than Jayson Tatum, when I'm doing it consistently, and I did it again for the 2nd straight year, that has to matter in terms of
why is he not better than Jokic in that same scenario, though?
Jokic is better at basketball than Jayson Tatum. Giannis is better at basketball. We've already established that.
No, but I know. But are you then going to say you can make an argument for Tatum over Joker because of the title?
Sounds like picking and choosing, to be honest.
But why did it apply to Giannis then? I guess is what I'm saying. It seems to be you just think the conversation between Tatum and Giannis is already closed, and that if Tatum closes out,
I don't. Whoa. Nope. I don't think that. I did not say that.
But why is it?
I did not.
There's no conversation with Jokic, but there's a conversation with Giannis to be had.
I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that.
You did. You said if he wins another title and plays better, then it has to be a conversation because winning matters. And I'm saying why does that not apply to?
Because winning does matter.
Agree, but why does that conversation not apply to Joker then? Is what I'm asking.
Maybe it does. It 100%. It 100% should. Even though these guys are better at basketball than him, 100%. But when you're checking off boxes. When you're checking off what you guys have accomplished, accomplishments matter. It's not just about being the better basketball player. It's not about that. Because if it was just about being a better basketball player, then forget winning, forget all league defensive nods, forget being an all-pro, forget being an all-star. Let's just take all of that out and let's just make this boxing. Who is the better boxer? Who is the better runner? Who is the better tennis player? Let's just do that. I am not doing that. I can't.
Boxing doesn't do that though. Boxing is a one-on-one sport.
That's what you're turning basketball.
No, 5-on-5.
No. We're not. No,
who is better?
We are not
who is
turning
better
basketball into a one-on-one sport. No, that's not what we're doing. We are not turning basketball into one-on-one sport. In fact, what we are doing is the opposite of that. We are acknowledging how much of a team sport it is by saying the individual isn't in control of the outcome.
Exactly.
We are the ones making it a team sport. You're the one making it an individual one by giving the player credit for the winning. Yes, you. By saying in a conversation about who the best is, saying winning matters is you ignoring the team aspect of the game.
And how much this guy is
me saying that the outcome of the game is more dependent on what just one person is me acknowledging how much of a team sport it is. Me saying I can't say player A is better than player B just because player A won is me saying the game is a team sport. Therefore, I can't say player A is better just because he won. You saying that I have to talk about this guy different because his team won is you ignoring the team aspect of the game. That's you doing that, not me. I'm actually trying to tell you how much of a team game it is because I can't give this singular player all the credit or this much credit to move him up into different tiers because of how good his team is around him. When I'm talking about the best player, the reason I say the best player conversations are solely individual is because we are just talking about players. We are just talking about individuals. So when I'm talking about individuals, I'm trying to remove them from the confines of their situation. You being in a more advantageous situation does not make you better than someone in a disadvantaged situation. I'm not smarter than someone who didn't get to go through the higher levels of education because I had opportunities presented to myself that someone else didn't. Some people are smart and just don't have the opportunity. It's a conversation about what you have available to you. I'm just looking at you for who you are, the individual. What are Jayson Tatum's flaws? What are Jayson Tatum's strengths? How does that impact his team? What are Giannis's flaws? What are Giannis's strengths? How does that impact his team? What are Jokic's flaws? What are Jokic's strengths? How does that impact his team? Now, you can be more impactful than someone and still lose because everyone else is not as impactful as the other pieces around you. I talk about, let's say, imagine a game is up to 100. Jokic contributes to 70 out of his team's goal to 100. Giannis contributes to 70 out of his team's goal to 100. Jayson Tatum Jayson Tatum contributes to 67 of his team's goal to 100. But Jayson Tatum's teammates contribute to the extra 33, whereas Giannis and Jokic's teammates only contribute for 25. That means Giannis and Jokic ultimately contributed the most to their team's chances of winning, 70 out of 100. Jayson Tatum contributed less, 67, but Jayson Tatum's teammates contributed to 33, and Giannis and Jokic's teammates combined for 25. Does that now mean Jayson Tatum was more impactful because his teammates did a larger job and did their part of their job in a way that Giannis and Jokic's didn't? No, because Giannis and Jokic contributed more to their team's chances of winning by getting 70 of the goal to 100.
Is that in a complete vacuum, or is that just in one specific instance? Because
this
again,
is in a hypothetical. It's in a
hypothetical vacuum,
world where you could objectively measure one person's contribution to the goal.
The reason why
this one doesn't exist, but I'm saying
the reason why I'm asking you this is because we've seen Jayson Tatum in specific situations contribute more than he has, and the reason why we've seen him contribute more is because we've seen other guys falter. Now, does that mean that Giannis
he's raised his players in that situation?
Right, 100%. And Giannis, on the other hand, we've also seen him contribute less, but we've also seen him contribute more, and they've also won. So, with that being said, with these two guys contributing on a consistent basis, because again, I care about winning and I care that winning matters. With these guys contributing what they contribute, how can I discount winning, and how can I discount?
But I guess it's not that you're discounting it. I'm really truly trying to understand.
No matter what I say,
I think it's important. It's important because it is because it's a discussion point. I'm trying to understand, Chill. If you think that Jokic and Giannis are better players, then the winning is what boosts this Tatum. Even though you've already acknowledged, just to go back to the boat point, Tatum has the most pristine boat of anybody that's in this conversation. And so we're agreeing that he has less disadvantages that he has to work through in order to be successful. And I guess I'm saying that, like, because if you're doing this with Tatum and Giannis, I ultimately think that if the winning is that important, then you have to put Tatum like towards the best in the world conversation. Because I don't know who's going to have a winning resume to hold it with Tatum at the end of this year. Because remember, the only other people with 2 titles that are going to be in the league are LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, whatever. As the main options, who else? John D? KD. And who? That's it? 4? Yeah, so the best players on the team with multiple titles.
He's the only guy to won it back to back since the Warriors did it in 18.
Since the Warriors, but out of that group though, like he would have more titles than Giannis and Jokic and everybody else in this tier. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think based on your assumption, you would have to put him in best in the world talks. He's won more than anybody else.
That's why I said it's a conversation. I didn't say that I'm putting him ahead of Joker. I'm not saying that I would put him ahead of Giannis, even though I do think that they're better at basketball than him. However, I think that the conversation would change if he had won the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons, did what he did last year, if not better, and performed better. It's not, for me, it's not just about being a better basketball player. Winning matters. So even though I think Joker is a better basketball player than him, even though I think Giannis is a better basketball player than him, if he were to win again and contribute like that, to your point, Mars, when you're talking about a guy contributing with more than a guy contributing with less, I can still go the other way. And because I have more than this guy and I don't contribute, then he's going to get blamed for that. Same thing happened to James in 2011 with what James had. It was one of the biggest choke jobs in NBA history, right? Considering what he had, he should have done badly. Yeah, he played awful. Yeah. And that was one of the main reasons why they lost. So if he
played badly and won, he still should have got criticized.
Here's the difference, though. Yes. The difference is that he didn't play. He played badly and they lost. So because he played badly, and they lost, that's one of the main reasons why people talked about James the way that they did. Even though he still was in best in the, even though he was in best, yes, it does make a difference. Why doesn't it make a difference?
If he plays the exact same and Dwayne Wade just has the series of his life and whatever, however they would find
exact same what? What do you mean exact same? Exact same what?
He plays.
Mars, hold on. Exact same what?
If James plays the exact same way that he does in 2011 against the Mavericks, but he just wins instead of loses for whatever reason, I'm not viewing that series any differently for LeBron because he played like shit. Like, that's just the way that it is.
Is he still the best player in the world?
Yeah.
He was the best player in the world anyway. Yeah, he was the best player in the world anyway.
Yeah, he was.
I know that, Mars. I'm asking him.
Yes. LeBron's still the best player in the world in 2011.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, 100%.
You didn't sound too. You didn't sound.
You didn't sound too 100%.
Yeah, no,
you didn't sound nearly as confident. And the reason why you don't sound, why you didn't sound confident is because you just told me not too long ago that all you care about is guys being the best basketball player in the world. Yes. Was James the best basketball player in the world in 2011?
Yes, 100%.
So him winning or losing, that shouldn't have mattered whether or not they won the NBA championship.
No.
Meanwhile, I just heard you tell me you weren't sure, even if they did win, if he was the best basketball player in the world, which means that there's somebody else that's on your mind.
I didn't sound sure. Well, I mean,
who is that guy? Who is that guy in 2011 who's on your mind as the best basketball player in the world?
There isn't. The reason why I took a second to think about it was because I had surgery last week and I'm on pain meds right now. You might need to bear with me a little bit.
Oh, damn. He got you on that one. You can't question the pain.
I mean,
unless you believe Kobe was in the conversation at that point, I really don't know what else to.
No, it would the second best player in the world. I mean, you'd have to throw KD, D Wade, Kobe, Dirk, Dwight.
Yes,
as like the group. That would be the group.
Yeah.
But it was very obviously LeBron was the best player in the world, and they lost the series, and he folded, and he was still the best player in the world.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, we're going in circles. Hello, Ox.
What's up, yeah?
We didn't get to any super chats in your absence.
Can we do that?
We'll do that now. But yeah,
you got it, Mark. Go ahead.
Drink more water said James B died so the Pistons can live. So he's saying James B sacrificed. Haven't seen James B in a while. Yeah, haven't seen James B in a while. Big Don Rich.
That's because Ron and Chill packed him up.
Oh, for real?
And playback, yeah.
Damn. Big Don Rich said Cade for MVP, at least 4th and 5th place votes.
So that would be,
I wouldn't put
between Tatum, Brunson, Cade.
Nah,
and
he wouldn't.
Do you think Cat finishes higher than Brunson in MVP votes this season?
Yes, I think Cat finishes higher than Brunson. I think it's wrong, but I think he does. Yeah.
Good.
Big Cowboy Boy said, "My Knicks suck. 76ers quit in the last 2 minutes. Hart and OG looked bad. Hook Porty, Darkenstein. Now hurt. Knicks don't want no part of Detroit, and then need new eyes." You said you watched some of that game, Joe. What was your thoughts?
I did watch some of that game. Mikal Bridges got going early. He looked really good. I think that Jalen Brunson made a point in getting him the basketball early, and he was making shots in his area, in the mid range, getting downhill. He was great. No Cat last night, but I thought their offense looked good early, which I thought was interesting considering the Knicks could sputter offensively. Miles, you and I had a conversation about Mikal Bridges navigating screens. He actually looked really good last night. I saw 4 different instances. There was an out-of-bounds play where he got a double screen. He took the high angle, and then Bona was screening him. He got around Bona and blocked one of Maxi's shots. That was good. Then another screen. This was in the first half, and there was another screen that came up where he ended up getting an offensive foul on the screener because he was trying to get around the screen and Bona didn't wait. There was another screen in the second half where he ended up going under the screen on Maxi. I think that the drop coverage with Precious Achiuwa was way too deep, and then that gave Maxi a lot more space to operate, and he ended up knocking down the shot. I thought that he could have done a better job in getting around that screen. And then there was another screen that was late in the third that I saw him fight around, and I thought he did a good job in recovering in that specific screen. So I thought that he did a good job in getting around screens. Now, again, I need to start watching more of Mikal Bridges as a defender because I'm since you brought that up, I'm paying more attention to him navigating screens. And I need to start watching more of him, but I thought he did a good job last night. Paul George's energy just sucked. It just does. He was out there complaining. A guy drops the ball out of bounds. What are you doing? I don't want to play with a guy like that. And the 76ers, the only reason why they got back in this game is because the Knicks took their foot off the gas. That was it.
I didn't watch that game, so thank you for the insight. And yeah, I hope Paul George. Juno's Ball said, salute to everyone on the panel. And then he said, chill, did you see your boy Tatum's ankles when guarding Asar?
He had a difficult time last night. Yes, he did. Don't let that box score, the 27 that he got last night, fool you. No, he had a really difficult time with them dudes last night. I feel like Asar, it seemed to me like he was watching film on Jayson Tatum more than anything, because he had beat Jayson Tatum to spots. He was ripping him. He was more physical with Jayson Tatum. He had Jayson Tatum countering like 3 or 4 times. There was nothing easy that he got last night. He looked really good.
I think he got like 3 steals straight.
Yes.
The first
So
He did.
see, that clip is circulating a lot of Jayson Tatum loses balance and
getting fried. Yeah, getting fried.
And but see, there used to be a time where you had to finish the play to get clipped.
It's not his fault that they fouled. Like, come on, man, be serious.
I'm just saying there used to be a time when you had to finish the play to get clipped. That's all I'm saying.
All I know,
for better or for worse, you know what I'm saying? For
my
better
guy,
or for
Asar Thompson, got like 3 steals to end the first quarter. That was some amazing defense. But Hoops Never Stop said the Pistons will beat the Knicks or the Pacers in 7.
Mm.
I don't think they beat either one of them, to be honest.
Pacers, maybe I could see.
I don't think they. I don't think they.
I think the Pacers are underrated, man. I think the Pacers are good.
No, I think they are too. I just don't see Detroit beating New York. No way, no.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose to pretty much whoever they play in round 1, but it's not a knock on them. Someone random said R.I.P. NBA Centel. I bet the team that got them taken down is the Mavs. Nico Harrison don't care about the culture.
Yes.
Oh man, month later, still hurt AF.
Get rid of
nobody
NBA
should care about the troll.
Why are you hating on Centel?
I can hate that kind. First of all, he said Joel Embiid announced his retirement. No, there's a. You can't just say stuff, Mars. That's some bullshit.
Yes, you can.
No, Mars, you can't.
That's
just not true. It's not true. He did not now announce his retirement. You just gonna say stuff?
Yes. Oh, people are saying Centel is back. Centel made it back. Let's go. Free NBA Centel. Let me go look.
I don't care about the troll accounts there.
Oh, they are. He is back. NBA Centel.
Oh yeah, let's go. He is back.
Let's go. All right. Well, anyway, no RIP NBA Centel. He'll be back. See, you can't kill Centel. Hoops Never Stopped said this is what Ox said earlier. Asar is the better twin. I don't agree, but they're both amazing. So it doesn't bother me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mr. Aboriginal said JB Bickerstaff is the coach of the year from bottom tier to 5 seed in 1 year. I think Chill said he's his coach of the year. Ox said he's in the conversation. I'm gonna ask Matty and Swiper. Well, I know Swiper's trying to push Jordy Fernandez prop, but anyway, who is you guys coach of the year right now?
Can you hear JB probably?
I mean, it doesn't fit the criteria of the award at all. I would just give it to Mark Daigneault, just because the Thunder this year are just so historically awesome from top to bottom. So.
You got to give it to, if you're giving it to him, you got to give it to Kenny Atkinson, because they are too.
I just don't think the Cavs are on the same level as the Thunder, and I attribute a lot of that to the.
Where's JJ in that conversation?
He's not in this conversation.
No, I don't think he is either.
We're giving participation conversations, I guess. Again,
just ask. Yeah,
podcast.
I think the Coach of the Year award is a stupid award anyway. But
you think all awards are dumb, Mars?
No, but I think this one is particularly dumb. Like really.
Why don't you like the Coach of the Year? What's the problem?
I think us as fans in particular. I mean, I think it's stupid for us to talk about. Even though I asked the question, but I think it's stupid for us to talk about because we don't know what these coaches are doing. All we see is the product on the floor, and start giving coaches credit for things that we don't know what's going on. We don't know who's even responsible for Cleveland's offense. It might be Kenny Atkinson's assistant. Like, for example, Memphis have the best offense they've had in the Taylor Jenkins era. Taylor Jenkins hired a new assistant coach who is known as one of the biggest offensive geniuses in Europe.
Right.
That's
Taylor
coaching,
Jenkins,
Mark.
Yeah, but Taylor Jenkins is getting credit for that.
Right. Because he hired him.
No, the front office hired him. Front office.
And
Us as fans talk about the Coach of the Year. when we don't know what the coaches are doing.
Well, I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of what the different
I mean, Mars.
All we can see is the product on the floor. That's all we can see. We can see rotations, and we can see certain sets. And most fans don't even recognize sets.
No, they don't.
So when I talk about the coach of the year being a stupid award for us to talk about,
well, fans don't.
What I mean by that is we don't know how much of what is happening on the team is because of the head coach.
I mean, there's a lot of gray areas. We don't know. Coaching. There's a lot of gray areas in coaching.
I just think that's pretty extremist take from Mars, personally.
We know maybe like 15% of what these coaches are doing.
But you're saying fans in general should not talk about the coach of the year award, right?
No, I'm saying they can talk about what they want. I think it's stupid to talk about it with any sort of certainties if they know what's going on.
So just like we
fans talk about a lot of things that they know nothing about. Fans talk about a lot of things they know nothing about. But I think it's stupid to talk about.
But we've talked about this before. We've talked about this before in March too, because we've gone through this a bunch of times. We're like, how do we know this? How do we know that? And we talk about that. Like there's certain defensive sets where it's like, okay, they're running that. You can see adjustments if when you watch the game, you can clearly see an adjustment being made. And I'm not going to assume that the players just got together and said, hey, we're going to do this now. You know what I'm saying? There's timely substitutions. There's a bunch of things that can indicate when the coach is doing their job or not. Now, obviously, to your point, like we've talked about before, like we don't know everything that's going on in that locker room. But at every level, from college, high school, professional basketball, my staff is me. If I have a staff and I'm delegating, like you got the defense. You got out of bounds plays. You got substitutions. What are you coming with? We coming together. We in the war room. I'm the head of.
You are the final voice.
So this is the CEO, is what you're saying.
So yes, I do get credit for my staff. Just like I take the faults from my staff. When my assistant coach calls a bullshit out of bounds play and we don't get a shot off, I got to take the fault for that. So it goes both ways.
And on top of that,
I understand.
I mean, that still has a bit of gray area to it. I mean, like, I'll make the analogy to like football. Like in football, you got the guy who calls the plays and guys who implement the schemes. But like, at the end of the day, like the head coach does have the final say, and there's more CEO head coaches than there are like actual coaches who will implement a scheme and call plays, choose what the guys are going to put out there on the floor, on the field. And in basketball, it's just harder to grasp, like, what type of guys. Like, I see what Mars is saying.
Is it though? Is it harder to grasp when you have a coach in Nick McMillan who's a defensive minded coach who recognizes on the perimeter, because he was elite. He was an elite perimeter defender.
He's one of the best guard defenders ever. Yeah.
That he puts his players in positions to succeed as perimeter defenders. That's and one of the main reasons why they are better. And on top of that, I'm a firm believer to Mars's point when you talk about us not knowing. Smart people hire people smarter than them. So the fact that JJ Redick has Scott Brooks on his staff, because he has Nate McMillan on his staff, and these guys implement the schemes that they do. I still have to be smart enough to look at what they want and look at what they're doing and go, okay, we're going to use this. We're not going to use that. I don't think that's going to work. I am going to give you some leeway in using this. And when I do that and it ends up being successful, I'm the one who, ends up going to take the credit. But also, if it doesn't work, I'm the one who's on the hook for it. Why did you run this play? Well, the reason why I ran this play, because Mars is the one who's the offensive coordinator, and he drew this up, and it looked like it was going to work, but it didn't work. But I okayed it.
I'm just all I'm saying is that we don't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the CEO head coaches.
It's not like I have no problem with the award existing. I have no problem with a lot of awards existing that I think are stupid because I don't value them. But I just we discuss these things, and all we have is the products we see on the court.
Yep.
And even then, we don't even know if the product we see on the court is a direct contribution from what the coach is saying. It's all projection. That's what I'm saying. It's all projection. We don't know anything, but we talk about it with certainty. And someone left a super chat. I'm going to read it because it's relevant. It was Akeem, Benny, trust the Nets rebuilding. Mars on cap because he wasn't saying this on Steven Silas. I think I was wrong. Like I keep saying, a lot of things I've said in the past, and even I changed my mind on how I view things. I think I was wrong to act as if to say Steven Silas is the worst coach ever. I think I'm wrong to say that because I don't know enough about what happens in coaching huddles, behind the scenes, in practice. I don't know anything. So me saying that with the certainty in which I said it, I think was wrong of me. So I don't think that means I'm on cap. I think it means I think I was wrong in the past. Does that mean I think Steven Silas is a good coach? No. Does it mean I think he was a bad coach? No. It means I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know if Steven Silas is a better coach than Phil Jackson?
I don't know anything. I don't, because the triangle came from Tex Winter. The triangle came from Tex Winter. We hear about the stories of how Phil Jackson managed egos and stuff. We hear about that stuff, but personally, I don't know. I wasn't in the locker room. I didn't watch Phil Jackson manage the egos of Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. At the end of the day, I can listen to what people who were coached by him say and form an opinion based on that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be something I don't know. When it comes down to watching NBA players, I can watch the improvement. I can watch what they're doing on the court and form opinions on that. When it comes down to coaching, I don't know anything. It's me just projecting my own beliefs and my own ideology on what I think good coaching and bad coaching is. That's all I'm saying. But like at the end of the day, I just think I should stop talking on things I don't know about. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Tell that the Warriors fans who think that they should spam pick and roll every possession for Steph Curry.
Yeah, but I mean, most fans just come.
We ain't running nothing else, Swiper. Just gonna spam pick and roll all day long.
There's a reason.
Curry the ball.
Steve Kerr is the worst coach of all time.
Just get Curry the ball.
There's a reason when most fans complain about coaching, they complain about two things: rotations and adjustments, because those are the only things that they can see. And more times, adjustments is just used as a buzzword anyway. Saying, "Oh my God, he didn't adjust," and then you ask him what adjustments did he not make, and it's like
they don't know.
Well, he should have done this, and it turns out the adjustment was only just changing the rotation. Like that's the only thing most fans are aware of when it comes down to coaching is just adjustments and rotations. So like I'm just saying, there's so much we don't know, but we talk about it as if
there's gray areas.
As if we understand it. In reality is we don't know what's going on from these coaches, and I wouldn't expect us to because we aren't in the locker room. That's all I'm saying. I think it's fine to say we don't know, and that's all I'm saying. I don't know. None of us know. Okay. Anyway, Piccolo, Blazers fan. Shaden FC, we got a post. I don't know if you guys seen his dunk yesterday. Ridiculous. New career high. Quarter body was a good night. Hope Denny is good to go. Was Beasley shooting like this last year?
Not like this, but he was still like an amazing shooter.
What's that career?
I remember Lakers fans. He had 36 last night, I think. Mm-hmm. I wanted to. Yeah, Shaden Sharp, his dunk was ridiculous. And Malik Beasley, was he talking about Malik Beasley?
I think. Who else would he be talking about? That's what I'm trying to think.
Michael Beasley. But Malik last year didn't have as many touches as he's getting now, but he was shooting the hell out of the ball. The time that was bad was when he was on the Lakers, and Lakers fans hated him. But the last 2 years, he's been shooting really well.
I mean, he was shooting 2 threes a game last year with Milwaukee, and he shot 41%, and this year he's shooting 9 attempts per game, and he's shooting 42%. So
I think his shooting might vary from year to year, month to month, because he won't get that damn thumb out of there. He flicking that thumb. I'm telling you, it kills me.
Jamal Williams said Jaden Ivey in the first for Tyler Hero. Why would the Heat do that? Sorry,
they've been trying to get off Hero for forever. Why not now?
They would do that.
Jaden Ivey.
They need more than that, though, Swiper.
Claire became a member.
When did this the same Claire?
Hey, Cheerio. Yes, that's Cheerio.
I'm not so tough around real NBA players. I'm not tough behind the camera. But anyway. Hoops never stop. Cavs ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals. They can't win 3 series. I just disagree.
Sound like a super chat from Chill.
Yeah, I just disagree. I think they can very easily win 3 series. Well, not easily, but I think they can win 3 series.
I think
Bob Wick said this light-skinned Bruno Mars looking MF is nasty. LOL. Swiper is the only one who can push his opinions on people.
Opinions on.
Nah, he mistyped. So, are you the light-skinned Bruno Mars, or am I the light-skinned?
There's
Bruno
a few
Mars?
of us up here apparently. And me and Chill are the same color. So
no, we not. No, we not.
I don't know who he was cooking.
Oh my God.
Tupac Westside. Gotta disagree, Chill. Boston can be the favorites, but teams like Cleveland and OKC are definitely capable of beating them.
I clarified that.
Yeah,
and I clarified that there are teams that are capable of beating them, but
I feel like clarify is a soft word for you changed what you were saying, but whichever works.
Alan R said, "Chill, a more loyal Celtics fan than me." LMAO, because you a Luka fan. You ain't a Boston fan. You a Luka fan.
Right.
How you a Boston fan and be hating on Jayson Tatum and be glazing Luka? Like?
He has no integrity, Morris.
No, wait. No.
Alan is a man of little. Well, no, see, Maddie, because you gotta know Alan L from the beginning of this. Yeah. He's a man of no morals and little integrity.
Wow.
He just say whatever he has to say.
Wow. I'm just a truther, and people don't like that. Like the truth is scary in a world full of lies. Like, I don't know.
Shouts.
Z6BCM said, "I don't know why we are being the grammar police in the NBA debate. We all know what chill mean."
I really feel like a lot of people didn't fare well in English classes. Like
I wanna be 100%.
No, Swiper, you was just trying your hardest.
I did not know what chill meant when
going
he
out
said,
of your way.
When Chill said the floor of the Celtics. When Chill said the floor of the Celtics is making the finals, and then said he thinks no one can beat the Celtics. Respectfully, I didn't know what he meant. He then clarified what he meant, which I was fine with understanding. But no, I didn't understand what he meant. If you understood what he meant, that's fine. But I was genuinely asking and debating because I didn't actually understand what he was trying to say. And then he clarified, and it ultimately ended up being something completely different than what he said originally. But that's fine. Once I understand, I understand. Like, that's cool. But whatever. I wasn't grammar police at all.
Then y'all tried to pull John D into it with your man, Mars. You're supposed to be a better influence than that on John D.
John D older than
John
Mars?
D his own man. Let's chill out, man. John D his own man. He older than me. He ain't looking for me for influence. Grandpa Town said Goofball Town. Put the fries in the bag.
But
thanks for the
but
super
Mars,
chat,
forget about that super chat. But Mars, that doesn't matter age because Swiper's a little older than me and he looks up to me. So
no, you're 38. We've had this discussion multiple times.
Oh yeah, I got a fake birth certificate.
Got riggedy knees too. Go ahead, next super chat.
Swiper, I'll beat you. A foot race.
Hoops never stop.
What? But you walk like a duck, boy. You waddle when you walk. Go ahead, Mars.
I'm faster than you, Swiper.
No, you're not. You literally can't run. I've never seen you do a jog. I've never seen you jog speed, even on the court.
You serious?
Power walk.
Yes, he did. This is a football player, y'all.
Power walk.
This is what football players do.
Swiper, but I'm really faster than you though, for real.
Ox, you walk like you dream.
Are you actually?
No,
yes.
Ox, you walk like you're.
I've never seen you run.
I'm faster and quicker than him. I've seen Swiper moving this side.
You walk.
He's
like
a bowling ball.
You know
he can't change directions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's your
remember how Ryan
you
going this
you turn like a colossal titan. You know what a colossal titan is? That's how you turn.
Because I don't got to move for nobody. Everything moved for me, Swiper, including you.
What'd you say?
Everything moved for me, including you, Swiper.
Can I read my super chats now?
Yes, sir. Please.
Swiper not talking about nothing.
Hoops Never Stop said the Celtics are best built to win 4 7-game series. I agree. Personally, I agree.
Possibly.
Kareem NYK 2001 said Chill predicted 90% of the season correctly.
Oh my gosh.
That's
He gets
a
credit for
good
Houston,
rate.
and you get credit for the Cavs, but please.
And he gets credit for Wemby getting hurt. So,
and I get credit for Phoenix.
Well, as a matter of fact,
I'm Phoenix.
Minus 40% for the Julius Randle take that he argued for.
100%. I was
no.
100% I was wrong on that.
Fenton Jones said, "Ask Chill if he smells toast right."
I don't even know what that means.
I was trying to say you're in a stroke.
Because I'm getting burnt or some nonsense like that. Fent, which is short for fentanyl.
Oh damn. Taco 101 said, "What's good, you guys?" Hello.
You.
Thank you for the super chat. Ray B said, "This is a lose-lose argument for OG." Chill. Celtics lose, he'll look foolish for saying nobody can beat them. Celtics win, they'll downplay his take because they're the defending champs. Oh, what? That wasn't the argument. Do you guys watch the show and not listen? Like, that wasn't the argument we was having.
Yes, they do.
It really bothers me. That wasn't we weren't having that argument. We wasn't arguing if the Celtics were the favorites for the title or if they had a chance to win the championship. That wasn't the argument. The argument was whether or not the Celtics floor was making the finals and beating everyone. That's what we were arguing. Damn. Teflon Gunsmoke said Swiper is an elite yapper. He says a lot of BS to say, "Oh yeah, I agree with you."
No, I've made a lot of great points today. If you weren't listening,
that's a fact.
Capo, who's been a member for 16 months, said, my Wolves can get with any of these top West teams. We trade Randall for a real backup big, and next year we back up. Jalen Clark, the next Drew Holiday. I've really liked Jalen Clark's defense.
Jalen Clark.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, I think he missed his rookie year with an Achilles, I think. But defensively, I think he's been really good. Now, contenders, but anyway. Grandpa Town chimed in again. Said, Jermaine, you a fool. Let Swiper, Mars, Ron, Ox, John D talk. How does it feel having designated haters? Sure.
It's actually cool, to be honest with you. It is. It's actually cool because to know that people care about. In order to be a hater, you got to care about somebody. You can't hate somebody.
Yeah, I only have one designated hater, but you
got to care about.
Yeah,
so. You got to care about somebody to hate them. So,
Trell Sosa, Sam Gibson, and Global Enigma all became members. Shout out to you guys. War V Room said a Nuggets fan saying the Celtics haven't faced real teams is hilarious. We can call into question that 23 run following that standard.
Can we unanimously?
I agree.
No.
I agree.
Wait, no. Hold on. No troll.
I was trying to say it when you were saying this. Sure.
Swiper also tried to just sneak in that the Denver Nuggets going to be in the West.
This is what I'm saying.
If
you want to have a discussion, this is fun time. Never mind. It's fun time.
No, go ahead. Have an actual.
I just want to. We can.
You be the main one trolling all episodes.
We can unanimously agree that the 2023 playoff run for the Nuggets through the Western Conference Finals was harder than the one that the Celtics had in the East. That's not even a conversation. Who did the Celtics beat that were even close to the Lakers? Or the Suns, for that matter? Like, who? Which team? Which one? Name one. Huh?
I mean, huh? I agree. The Nuggets
all right, so hush.
Than the Celtics.
Hush. Move on. Next super chat.
Next one. Hoops never stop. Because you win a lot of in-season games doesn't make you a good postseason team. OKC or the Cavs aren't built to win a 4-7 game series. It's that simple.
I don't believe
I agree with the first part, but winning a lot of regular season games doesn't make you a good postseason team. I agree with that part. The second part, I disagree. All right, there you go. So
and the first part, depending on the matchups. I mean, you can get a bad matchup and get bounced in round one or in the semifinals, but 100% Cleveland and 100% Oklahoma City are built to win they're built to win series. That's just not true.
Yeah, I don't see anybody beating OKC.
I can see teams beating OKC, but it'll just be dependent on their offense. But
if they are, it's going to be in like close game situations. I don't see.
I don't see.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody smoking them. I don't think
blowing out OKC is even possible. If I'm being
nobody's
honest.
smoking them.
They really just can't. Make shots. Rock Out Deuce said if Detroit can get their hands on the Pacers or the Knicks, they have a chance to win a first round series. I agree. They have a chance. No, I wouldn't bet on them.
I just don't hate Detroit against the Knicks. I don't hate it. I ain't saying that they can beat them, Mars. I'm not. But I do think that they'll take advantage. I think it's a 6.
Do you think they can handle the Knicks like they did the Celtics last night?
In a 7-game series? No, I don't think that. Mm-mm.
I have concerns
to be honest with you, if they did that, if the way that they played against the Celtics last night, if they did that throughout the playoffs, who beating them?
The Sixers if they make it, but
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Dustin Hill said last 20 games, LeBron is playing all NBA defense while averaging 27, 8, and 9 on 63% true shooting, age 40. Best record in the league over that span. He should definitely be in the MVP conversation.
This is straight from Jayson Tatum, by the way. This is a tweet. This is a tweet expanded super chat from my dog Jason. No, LeBron is in nobody's MVP conversation.
Yeah, watch yesterday's episode. We had a 30-minute debate about LeBron's MVP conversation.
Where did y'all have him?
Well, I was passionately saying he's not in the conversation. Chill started by saying he should be, then clarified and said if he continues at this pace for the rest of the season, he'll get into it. And then Ox said if LeBron James turns into 2013 LeBron, he'll be in the conversation. That's what he said. Grandpa Town asked Chill why you're still ducking.
Why do they have that picture of you?
Why does it? That was when I graduated from the police academy.
Where
when was that? 1956?
2007.
Why is that picture readily available? It's online.
I used to have a Facebook account. That's why.
They took it off of your Facebook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know how dedicated Chill's haters are? You know how dedicated they are?
That's stalking shit, bro. That's some crazy stalking.
Sam Gunter said, hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. Thank you for the super chat and thank you for being a long time listener. Knicks fan here. Do you think the Knicks look better with different coaching? Is Tibbs on the chopping block?
Please.
I wouldn't be putting Tibbs on the chopping block.
I think Tibbs should not be coaching.
No.
I think he needs to go. Tibbs. He needs to go to therapy to rethink how he wants to play players and why players have to play 49 minutes a game in a 48-minute.
Tibbs need to coach college, bro.
He would be great at high school. Play 7 players all game.
High school now.
You never.
He's
They
gonna
never
go to
lose.
Monty Williams.
I mean, I know nothing about coaching, so I can't tell you if Tibbs is good or bad. But
He's
I wouldn't.
he's a really good coach. It's just no reason.
I wouldn't be
playing
firing Tibbs. I don't think. I would anyway.
To what we know, he's not doing anything incredibly wrong. So.
Average Joe said LeBron is playing amazing, especially this past month. We got to stop with this MVP stuff. We might as well throw Cade into the convo as well. He actually has a better argument than Bron for real. I don't agree with that last part, but
Chill. I thought we in 2025 said we're no longer engaging with the chat on the panel.
We 100% are off that. I've definitely relapsed. Yes, I am. I'm back in these streets.
sometimes it's hard, man. Sometimes it's hard.
I'm
You be seeing
100%
stuff you
back
want to
in the streets.
respond, man.
Yes, I'm 100% back in the
Oh
streets.
damn! I wasn't reading it. Damn, man.
Yeah, I'm 100% back in the streets.
Shit.
Yes, I
Knock
am.
kneed, clumsy, goofy. You
Hey, we
couldn't
ain't gonna
control
read
that.
it. Damn,
Yeah,
it's in the
that's
chat.
crazy,
It's in
bro.
the
Shout
chat.
out, shout out.
Get outta
If it's
here.
in the chat, it stays in the chat.
Wait,
Unless
who's your biggest op on in the chat, Chill? Is it Buddy?
To be honest with you, I have so many. I don't know.
Mike, Buddy.
Buddy hasn't really been active for real. Grandpa Town might be taking the cake. Like he's stepping up. Buddy might have regressed.
If somebody pulls up a picture of Mars from elementary school, I think that we've gone too far. We've gone too far as a community.
A picture of me from like 3 years ago.
No, we should not. They should not be finding your ID. Like, yeah, it should not be out there.
Nassim Perry said the Nets play defense to be giving teams trouble as well. Yeah, Swipey, you didn't get your Jordy Fernandez proper. You want to take some time?
We don't have time.
praise Jordy
Yeah,
Fernandez a
I
little?
think we should legitimately have that discussion tomorrow, though. I think it'd be a good discussion.
Well, Ron will be here, hopefully. Hanzo said, how easy is it to build around Tatum when they only won last year with having 4 all-star caliber players around
Well,
him?
that's what I'm saying. That's what he got. That's the situation he's been dealt.
Well, this goes back to the idea, like, the situation in which you win isn't the only situation in which it was possible for you to win. I don't think Jayson Tatum's only avenue to success is having 5 all-stars around him. I don't think that's the only way he can be successful. Now, it is the only way in which he's won a championship thus far, but that doesn't mean that's the only way to win. It's like saying KD, the only way he can win is with the greatest team of all time. Like, I don't agree with that. It's the only way he has won, but I don't think that's the only way.
What if KP wins Finals MVP this year? Oh man.
Then
Shit,
Kristaps
it'll be
Porzingis is
so
in best in the world
nasty.
talks. That's what it means. He's in best in the world talks because best player on the championship team. If Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP again, and covers Finals MVP again, Chill, is he in conversations?
Yikes.
He has to be.
2-time Finals MVP
Gotta
in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, is he?
Well, first of all, y'all already being too hard on him.
The best player on the team? Is he at least the best player on the team?
Well, y'all are already being too hard on him this season anyway. Act like he's having a terrible season anyway, and that's just
He's not doing what he did.
I don't
last
think
year.
he's having a. I don't think he's having a good.
No, he's not.
Or,
really
like,
doing- he's
can
not
you
really
say
doing
with
what
confidence
he
that Jaylen Brown's been better than Amen Thompson so far?
did.
Hey man, he cooking, man. I like.
I'm
that man.
no.
looking,
I'm not
bro.
asking if he's better. I'm just saying, can you say it with confidence?
Yes,
man.
100%.
Nah,
That's not
you
even
don't
what
want
I'm
to.
thinking about.
I can't do that.
But
Why
no,
not?
genuine question, Joe. Jaylen Brown wins conference finals and finals MVP again this year. Is he the best player on the Celtics?
This is a nasty ass conversation, but yikes. We have when it matters the most, even though I don't think he should have won it last year.
Hey, winning matters, Chill.
It does. It 100% matters. The fact that he won it. I mean, I think that's for me. I don't think so, but I think that's going to be the talk, Moss.
You said
Yeah.
winning matters, though. He won.
It
all
does.
the important things.
It 100% matters. And if he were to do it, oh my goodness.
You realize you would stick to your own logic, even if you don't feel like you agree with your own logic.
What do you mean?
So if JB wins 4, he has 2 conference finals MVP and 2 finals MVP to Tatum's zero
Right.
over this 2-year span.
Well,
You-
Jason
by
Tatum
your
didn't
own-
win it. Well,
I
wait,
said 2-year span, 2-year span. I would say so. Tatum would have 0 to 4, and in that way, since you believe winning matters,
Well, he has
your
one
own-
conference finals MVP in 22.
No, he just said
No,
in the
I
2
said
years.
last
Yeah,
2
just
years.
Oh, okay, my fault.
I'm not going back to the ancient days. Okay, I'm saying that in this instance right here, Chill, by your own logic, you would have to somehow confer and argue that there's a conversation to be had that Jaylen Brown is better than Tatum, even though you don't believe Brown is an actual better basketball player than Tatum. How do you feel about that?
I would have to do that.
How many more years does JB got on his contract with the Celtics? Like, because he just signed.
He just signed an extension.
Like 4 or 5 years, I think.
So 4 or 5. Okay.
I'll be.
Are we
here.
gonna say that
I'm
Jalen
just curious because I'm saying like if he were to win another one, it's
He's
to the
tied
point
down
where you
till
know what?
2029.
Okay, 2029. All right. So what I'm saying is, you win another one, maybe try to see what you could do on your own team. Maybe see if you could carry something, or just stay there, play your contract out. But as far as JB is concerned, I can retire now. I got so much money. I got these Finals MVPs. I'm the man. My legacy is solidified. You know what I mean? 2 Finals MVPs, 2 Conference MVPs. Come on, man. I'm in the Raptors. I'm going in the Raptors.
If Jaylen Brown wins his second Finals MVP in a row, are we going to say that he peaked higher than Kawhi Leonard? Since Kawhi had 5 years.
Superchats.
Oh, what's up, bro? What are you doing right now?
It's just a question.
Amin Thompson better, and now you put him with Kawhi.
Yeah, Superchat.
No, I was just asking a question. Devil's advocate.
Some questions don't need to be asked. Average Joe said, we can't say Tatum needs less versatility when he clearly has more. They literally swapped out Marcus Smart for the perfect version of Smart with Drew. They replaced Robert Williams with KP. No,
it was perfect. It was a steal.
What I said was, with a guy like Jayson Tatum, who's, in my opinion, the most versatile player in the NBA, you are less handicapped in terms of roster construction because you don't need certain things. Jokic needs defense. Giannis needs shooting. And maybe he needs another defensive anchor big next to him. Jayson Tatum, you can fit pretty much anyone around him, and he can still make it work.
He just needs an elite team around him.
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is the pool of players in which you can put around Jayson Tatum is larger than most other players in the NBA because of how versatile he is. That does not mean it's quote unquote easier or you don't need as much talent around Jayson Tatum.
He's more.
It just means you have a larger pool of players to choose from when it comes to building around Jayson Tatum.
Y'all will find any reason to not give Jayson Tatum his proper credit. I'm going back to yesterday.
Y'all talking about the super chats or me?
I'm just saying, just everybody, Mars. So if the shoe fits, you know what I'm saying, please slip that loafer on. Because I'm telling y'all will talk in circles to find any angle and avenue to discredit the greatness of Jayson Tatum. And it's pitiful. He plays both sides of the court. He plays both sides of the court. Yes, your dude can't say that, Swiper.
We just said he's the most versatile player in the league, and I made the argument for that. So
it's but you say
I mean, I know
you say that to try to give him a backhanded compliment.
How is that backhanded?
I know your game, Swiper, like you do this all the time.
How is it backhanded?
Yeah, you have a hidden agenda.
No, okay, but time out.
Then you put the non-prescription glasses on to make yourself sound and look smarter.
No, I'm not trying to look
prescription on them glasses.
I'm just trying to figure out how is if I said that Jokic and Giannis are better, but he's the most versatile player in the league, why is that a discredit to him?
Swiper.
That's what I thought. Nothing.
Average Joe
I just can't keep doing this with you, bro.
Average Joe said, we talking about if Giannis loses, if he takes his Bucks team to the finals with Doc as the coach, we got to put him over Hakeem, KD, and Bird.
I'm so sure.
I don't have to do anything.
I dare you. I will put my boxing gloves on and I will get you in the ring. I dare you to put him ahead of Bird, Hakeem, if he takes this team. No, this dude over me. I'm down to get in the ring, and you got to defend that. I dare you. Defend it. Please do. I dare you.
Well, I mean, he'll just say that Giannis is better than him. That's what we're saying.
Give me a break.
Because you're going to start bringing up accolades and who he did it against. He's going to be like,
100%.
Yeah. And that's why I don't be having, like, a lot of these debates is like, I don't view the game the same way you do. Like, if you start bringing up accolades to me, it's like, I don't care about them anyway. So, like, you making these arguments is like, I know what accolades he has. I just didn't care in the first place.
I mean, I don't think Giannis is better than any of those guys for the record.
But if you get to the finals.
No,
that's just winning. He doesn't care about it. It depends how Giannis plays.
It just depends on how he plays. Jerry West made the finals 9 times, and the one that I care about the least happens to be the only one that he won.
I couldn't care less about them.
Did Jerry West make the finals 9 times?
Yes,
he's 1-8.
Did we have film from all those finals?
Yes, we do. As a matter
there's film from the final. Now, all games, every single game.
Pull up the film for all the games. Is what I'm saying.
I bought
for all the games. Yeah, I don't think you're
exclusive
gonna find
VHS
that. I don't think
tapes.
you're gonna
but-
find
You're not gonna have film on every last one of them. But
Why?
we-
They had these.
I'm
Remember when
sorry.
you were in your crib when as a kid, your parents would put the thing on so you could watch the moving pictures across the screen. You know, na, 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 na.
Superchats, boss. I'm sorry.
NP13 said Giannis about to average 35, 15, and 7 on 65% true shooting and lose in the first round because Dame is going to forget how to shoot again in the playoffs.
Sounds about right.
Again. I'm going to have to hear Tatum is better than him, averaging 22 and 8 in the finals.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Dame has forgotten how to shoot in the playoffs before. You know that.
In the first round?
And he's been great in the first round. That's who Dame is in the first round.
He said they're going to lose in the first round because Dame forgets how to shoot again in the first round.
Awesome in the first round.
Oh, he
20
definitely forgot.
2018?
No, after I will say after
when he was up playing
after the
with
first
Jamal.
round, he has a.
Oh yeah, but he said in the first round. That's what I
I
said.
got you.
But yeah, I will not be partaking in Jayson Tatum best in the world talks. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do that.
I mean, you gotta consider the resume. You do have to consider the resume.
Drink more water said so. LeBron loses in the finals all these years, but he still remained the best when Curry and KD were winning. ... That's
James
chill,
was still
I
getting.
guess.
James was still getting.
2015 is the only year where it was a question for me.
James was still getting to the NBA championship
In that week East, you give him credit for that.
Yes, I do. 100%.
DeMar DeRozan.
100%.
Okay, so hypothetical.
Here we go again.
Let's just say the Cavaliers played in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Is he now no longer the best in the world because he just loses to the Warriors in the conference finals?
He's still the best.
No, I'm asking. This is just for sure
Is he no longer the best if he loses?
because he's not making the finals anymore.
You got to get to them. If you continuously losing to them,
That's unserious. I'm sorry, that's unserious. There's just no way.
man.
There's just so because he's in a conference with the best team ever, he's no longer the best. But because he's in a bum-ass conference with the best.
Was James Harden ever the best player in the world, Mars?
The reason James Harden wasn't the best isn't because he didn't go to the finals. It's because Steph, KD, and LeBron were better than him. That's why. It wasn't because he was losing to the Warriors. That was not the reason he wasn't the best.
And
like we can't see how that's unserious. Like,
and if he would have beat the Warriors,
he's still not better than LeBron.
He didn't. But they would have lost to the Rockets too, by the way, 17-18. So you're saying that if LeBron would have lost to the Rockets and then would have lost to the Warriors. So if those three of those years he wouldn't, so 17, 18, 19, he doesn't make the NBA Finals. Well, 17, 18. Just take those two. Just those two. So LeBron's no longer the best in the world those years. Even you love 2018 LeBron. LeBron doesn't sniff the finals that year.
Apparently, he's not.
So now,
if he's one of the main reasons why he was the best player in the world because he was winning
in the East.
So what?
I'm saying if he was in the Western Conference. Chill. If he was in the West, he has to play the Warriors, and if he loses in the second round to the Warriors, he'd be a worse player.
He won the NBA championship more than once, which means he had to play
he won once in Cleveland.
Conference best team.
No, he won once in Cleveland, lost all those other years.
And he won in Miami, which means that he had to play the Western Conference's best team.
What does that got to do with those years? We're talking about these years. What
it means is him getting to the NBA championship and winning. Winning matters.
Just because you slow down your speech doesn't make sense for the 16, 17,
whatever I'm saying, it doesn't make. I'm sorry, Moss. Go ahead, Joe.
No, that 1000% doesn't make sense.
I'm good.
Like I want to ask, like, was Jason Kidd better than Tim Duncan or something? But like,
in what year?
When the Nets were making back-to-back finals. Like
Jason Kidd was him.
Was Jason Kidd better than Kevin Garnett?
I gotta go, guys. For real.
Okay. Well, anyway, Average Joe. Only player to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 50 assists in a series. That was Giannis in 2022 versus the Celtics. But you think Tatum outplayed him? Do you think Tatum outplayed him?
No, I don't.
Okay. There you go. Why does Giannis, injured, get discredited for losing to the Heat in the first round, yet Tatum doesn't, despite losing to the same team? I'm confused. Oh, yeah. The Heat did lose to the Celtics did lose to the Heat that same year.
Wasn't that in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, but they just didn't play them in the first round. That's the difference.
And they lost in game 7.
I mean, the difference
Oh,
was
that's
they
the
lost.
difference. You lost in the first round. I lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's
And they
it.
end up
lost in-
losing in it.
We lost to the same opponent.
They lost in
I
game 7 because Tatum twisted
I
his ankle
understand
in the
that very
first
well.
play of the
But
game.
you lost in the first round. I lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. There's an obvious difference there.
Yeah, the difference is we saw the same team earlier than you did. That's
And I lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. You lost in the first
yeah,
round.
that's the difference. Alan Noah said Matty's the best panelist of all time. Congratulations, Matty.
Mm-hmm.
Hank said Boston and OKC tough, but Cavs in 6. See you guys in June. I think the Cavs have a legit shot. If I'm being honest, I think the Cavs have a legit shot. Mad Max Sports Talk. This is for you, Swiper. He said having to protect your center leads to a bad roster.
No. They won the most games in the West of anybody in the last 7 years. So obviously not a bad roster. I think they need certain things that they are not up to date on, which for me is why being a GM for the Denver Nuggets would just look functionally different than what it looks right now. But that's just me, though. We have a disagreement on how to build a roster. I think if they had one Evan Mobley, it'd be a different story.
Oh yeah, that's so easy to come back.
No, yeah, well, I'm saying suck for 1 year. How about it?
MP13 said, yeah, but chill. This goes back to the earlier conversation with the state of the league, roster construction, team defense, and the CBA. The level of impact of a singular player is less than it's ever been. It's more team ball. There's
more team ball, 100%.
I'm not going to stop reading Grandpa Town super chats. Respectfully. You're not even sending enough. No, he's not sending enough for where I'm just going to keep reading disrespect. Like, if you were sending $50, yeah, maybe we'll let you disrespect people.
L
for $249, like let's be
It
serious.
costs to be disrespectful.
Which bottle? This
Yeah,
the same dude. This the same dude that said. This the same dude that says he plays professionally in Croatia.
Yeah, for
That's what he said.
240, you
Yeah,
can't
he
just
said
say whatever you want, and I'm gonna read it out for 240.
Yeah, he said he played professionally. He's 6'9". He said he said he could beat me one-on-one. He's 6'9", and he plays professionally in Croatia.
Yeah,
I think he's more like 5'9", and I think he's a professional yapper in Croatia. That's what I think he is.
Croatia.
I can find Croatia on the map.
Has anybody been to Croatia up here?
Nah,
Is it
I've
nice?
never been. I've never been anywhere in
Go
Eastern
to
Europe.
Croatia for it.
Yeah, it's not on the bucket list. Brandon Perkins said Cavs are a significantly better team than last year's series versus Boston. Darius lost 15 pounds and was not the same player and didn't have Ty Jerome or DeAndre Hunter, 2 6-man of the year candidates. Didn't have Jarrett Allen. Evan Mobley is significantly better. I agree with everything he just said.
Yeah, broke his jaw.
Every single thing he just said, I agree. Superman Rose said, why are we comparing the Nuggets to the Bucks? Murray versus Dame and Jokic. Murray versus Dame and Jokic versus Giannis is a wash. GM coaching, role players drafting, the Nuggets are better. Murray versus Dame is a wash.
And the playoffs.
December 1st to now, maybe. Before that, yeah.
Interesting. I also don't think Jokic and Giannis is a wash, but that's besides. We'll see the game tonight. It's gonna be interesting. Average Joe, let's have this convo. What if Jaylen Brown has a better postseason? Oh, well, we already asked this. We did ask this.
Wait, what didn't finish the question?
Is Jaylen Brown going to be better than Jayson Tatum if he wins the Finals MVP?
Well, he said it has to be a conversation.
Drink More Water said, I don't think Chill Chamberlain. Why did I say Chill Chamberlain? I don't think Chill remembers Giannis won already. 3.5
I think
years
Chill
ago now?
Chamberlain is a next PC shirt, by the way. That's the best.
Chill
name
Chamberlain
I've
was
ever heard.
amazing. Yeah, Chill Chamberlain was amazing.
Hey, Chill, what did you say? I can tuck the top of the box and bench 350.
No, Ron was hilarious. That was hilarious. Mitsu said back-to-back champion. You have to rank him higher. Do I have to rank Porzingis higher as well? And Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday and Derek White and Al Horford and Joe Mazzulla? Do I have to?
A little bit, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
As long as they all produce, like they did last year, as long as they're all playing good ball, I think so. I think they earned it. Al Horford too, first ballot Hall of Famer.
John Cena said, Giannis, go to OKC. They got you in JT talks. Yeah, if you go to OKC and all of a sudden he's the best in the world.
You know how angry I would be if Giannis ends up in OKC? I would be livid. Chill. Livid. Could you think? No, hold on. You think chill? They think a plus 17 for an on-court net rating for SGA is crazy. Plus 24 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't have to do anything. I can just dunk
Plus
and pass.
is wow.
That's what it would be.
24. I don't think 24 is possible, if I'm being honest. Conscious E. This is for Ron. I'm sorry. He said, Ron, on the video I sent for the PCO, it only let me do so much time. I had like 25 to 30 second cap, and I don't know if it's because I did it on my phone, but is there any way I can make it longer? Definitely had more to say. I didn't know you guys had to send a video.
Conscious, 25 to 30 seconds is more than enough time. Stop yapping.
I agree, but I don't know what you had to say, so maybe it's not enough time. I don't know. Baba said, chill, maybe you should get like James and take some compound V to get your mind back.
Have you seen The Boys?
This dude has never said anything productive. He's also another keyboard warrior. That's who he is. He's a keyboard warrior that doesn't know anything about anything except what everybody else says. Get him out of here too. In fact, like I told you, Moss, his whole objective, he said this, I think maybe like 6 months ago, is to piss me off. That's it. He doesn't do anything else. He said, I'm only here to piss off Chill. That's it. So thank you
from now on, if you're gonna be just sending super chats to troll, the price is gonna we're not reading troll.
Today's price, yesterday price.
Yeah, you have to really empty them pockets if you're gonna just send.
I like this shit, Mars. This the Mars I like. Talk that shit, Mars.
Price is
That's
gonna.
what I'm talking about.
W
capitalism.
Christopher Drake said, "Where does Cade rank under 25?" I want to say just comfortably top 10, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
Top 10 comfortably. Yeah, I don't.
So I would say Şengün 9, K10. All right. Next.
All right. Be serious. Mo said I'm late, but dub Pistons and dub Harden. Dub Pistons and dub Harden indeed. James Harden was hooping yesterday. I didn't even get to push my Ben Simmons propaganda, but it's well. Straw Hat Cell became a member. You see them passes he was making?
He's always been a good passer.
I don't got nothing to say.
Dribble Warrior said we never got the answer on somebody being better offensively and defensively, but being worse. We had a conversation about that.
That was months ago.
No, it wasn't months ago. It was like a few weeks ago.
Man, the
Bill Russell Hakeem
Moses?
thing. No, Bill Russell and Hakeem.
That's right, Bill Russell Hakeem.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Average Joe said, "Why you take that shot at Jim Park like that, Swiper? That was nasty." Is that who you were taking a shot at, Jim Park?
I'm taking no shot at nobody. That's just what happened. You go to Warriors Twitter, it's like run the pick and roll.
Justin said, "I want an apology on Cade after the last crash out discussing him." Apology from who?
People in hell want water.
I don't think he's here.
Oh, Penn? We'll get him to apologize. Straw Hat Cell said, as a big Paolo fan, France has been better this year, hands down. I will say I don't think Paolo has the same first step as he did before the injury, but do you think Mosley is telling him to get to the rim? I'd hope Mosley's telling him to get to the rim.
I don't think he has to tell him. I think that's his game. I think that's his game. I don't think Mosley has to
Paolo been crazy, man. It's just not making nothing.
I mean, the optimistic part would be just saying Paolo's still working his way back from his injury. I don't know how severe oblique injuries are, but maybe that's causing problems. I don't know.
He was playing really well.
The pessimistic side is he's just not that good. So I don't know where I fall, but anyway. Shout out to Kareem saying I don't know ball. Thanks. Joey Alphonse said, Swiper, why are you trying to hide your Celtics JT hate? Embrace it.
I feel like I've been pretty clear about this. I like Jayson Tatum. I'm just not where Chill is. I don't agree with the logic, but I also, at the same time, I don't like big markets. I'm never going to be a Laker and Celtics fan. This is very well known. I stand with.
So you don't like the Knicks?
No, the Knicks is cool. They haven't won anything since '71. They're barely
a big market.
No, but James Dolan is the reason they haven't won anything. That's the reason they haven't won anything.
Justin said, dude in the top left said Cade wasn't that good with Penn. Oh, Matty. Is he talking about Matty? Was Matty top left at that point?
This is only my second time here. I barely have any receipts.
But do you think Cade is good?
Hell yeah. I've always been a Cade guy.
Okay. Then I don't know who he was talking about.
Right.
Nick became a member. Shout out to Nick. We got a few more. Sorry for wasting everyone's time. Justin said, someone tell Penn that Cade is better than Scotty and it's not even close right now. I think real quick, we all agree, right? Cade is better than Scotty Barnes.
I'm good with that.
Even Penn.
I mean, Darko did say that Scotty can be a top 5 player at some point. So,
yeah, one day, not 2 day. Mike said, "Chill, I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I was wrong. You accept the apology, Chill."
Hell nah. I'm out of here, Mike.
You trying to?
For now, yes.
Look, see, friendship. Let's go.
Whoa. Just because you say you sorry.
Oh, okay, no friendship. I went a bit too far.
Does not mean that we boys. I accept your apology, but
my fault. Jerryality said, Chill, why do you have Bron over MJ and Kareem, Kobe, Russell, and Duncan if winning matters by your standards?
Because winning isn't the only thing that matters. Once again, Jerryality, I said that winning matters, but it's not the only thing that matters. But I do care about winning.
If someone has 7 more rings, I think that should hold a lot of weight. But shout out to my good Bill Russell. Where you at, Will said, so by that logic, Jokic needs defenders around him to make it to the conference finals.
I would say they had good iterations of a defensive team when they made the conference finals.
They've gone to the conference finals twice, right?
Yes.
2020.
Gary Grant, Gary Harris.
Yeah.
Torrey Craig.
23.
Paul Millsap.
And
then Bruce Brown, KCP, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown.
And Jokic was actually viable on defense in that run.
Jokic was great in the pick and roll. He was second best pick and roll defender in that run that year.
Yeah, schematic.
No, not nothing. Shh. Hush.
Yeah, no. If you could apply context when you lose,
I'm giving you applying context to KCP made it matter.
Cujo said Swiper does the same with Shea and Jokic MVP talks. We know your game now, Swiper.
I think Shea can win MVP this year. I've been very positive. I've been
He's
very
going
positive.
to win. He's going.
Okay, see. I mean, I'll be willing to take the money. I'll take your bet.
Sports Pantheon became a member. Shout out to you. And then Naptown said he only can play who's in front of him. I think that's regarding the stuff about LeBron James if he went to the finals in 17 and 18, or if he was in the West. I think that's
coincidence. Yeah.
And then DD Rond said, has Austin Reeves been better than Jaylen Brown this season? And will the Dallas Mavericks be in the playoffs this year? So
I think they will be in the playoffs. Yes, I do think.
Has Austin Reeves been better than Jaylen Brown?
I don't think he's been better than Jaylen Brown. No.
It's not as far off as you think this year.
Teddy Hart said if CP3,
he's definitely closed. He's definitely closed the gap significantly.
Yeah.
But the other side, Mavericks will probably win the West this year.
Teddy Hart said if CP3 simply pulls his hammy just 1 week later, the Cavs win the chip that year, 2018. If he doesn't pull it at all, the Rockets win the chip. But it's what it is. Charles Sosa said, "Chill. Who would be front runner for the top chill Glazers?"
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to that sort of stuff. I really don't.
You see the negativity, but not the love. Nah. Rod said Josh Giddey MIP on the way. Billy Donovan sucks. I haven't been paying too much attention to the Bulls recently because, respectfully, I'd rather watch other teams. Yeah. But it looks like Josh Giddey's been doing all right. So shout out to Josh Giddey. He is obviously a good player. And then last one, Justin said Cade or Paolo. All of his super chats were about Cade today. Cade or Paolo. Paolo was extremely overrated after that one playoff series. Dude can't shoot consistently in his career. I think Cade's better than Paolo.
Cade's better.
Who do you guys think?
Cade better than Paolo? I'll take Cade this season. Yes.
Yeah, I think Cade's outplaying him so far.
Okay, there we go. Do I have to shout out a playback or something tonight? Is there a playback tonight? Does anyone?
It is a playback tonight. I'm doing the Lakers Minnesota game tonight. Yes, I am.
There you go. Lakers Minnesota with chill on playback tonight. Tap into that. We will be back tomorrow. Ron will be back tomorrow. Thank you for Matty for pulling up. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you when we see you.